Charles Snow Bunny Barkley, Shaquille Snow Bunny O'Neal, Jalen Snow Bunny Rose, Mike Snow Bunny Wilbon, Richard Snow Bunny Jefferson, Stephen Snow Bunny Smith, Jason Snow Bunny Williams. You 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You 10 Negroes. I want to call you the C word, but I can't use the C word on Instagram. Instagram told me I can't use the C word. So since I can't use the C word, I'm going to use the Negro P word. But you 10 Negroes are a disgrace to your race. You have done more to undermine Kyrie Irving. You 10 Negropeans have done more to undermine Kyrie Irving than all the untouchable media in America. Charles Barkley, did I hear you say Kyrie should be suspended for what he said about the untouchables? You weak, fat, sloppy, unintelligent devil. And then I heard you say that your daughter is married to an untouchable. Your daughter is married to an untouchable. And so you took it personally what Kanye said. This is what Charles Snow Bunny Barkley said. He took it personal. But did you take it personal when Breonna Taylor got shot up? Did you take it personal when Sandra Bland got choked out? Charles Snow Bunny Barkley, did you take it personal when Tamir Rice got shot up for a water gun? Did you take it personal when Freddie Gray or Eric Garner or Philando Castile or Alton Sterling? Did you, Trayvon Martin? Did you take any of that personal? I never heard you say nothing about them. I ain't heard Charles Barkley or Shaquille O'Neal say nothing in defense of Michael Brown. You always go out of your way to kiss the backside of your Neanderthal slave masters. I've never seen a black man as big and black as you. I've never seen a black man as big and black as you go out of his way. Go out of his way to prove his loyalty to his slave master. Let me say this. I am a firm supporter and advocate of bringing back the whipping post from slavery. Listen to me, brothers and sisters. Listen to me, brothers and sisters. This is King Kong consciousness. I believe we should bring back the whipping post from slavery. I need some of my brothers to go into the old museums and get the whipping posts out. That's right. Or we can make some new whipping posts. That's right. Charles Barkley, I sentence you to 5,000 lashes for conduct unbecoming a black man. Shaquille O'Neal, I sentence you to 5,000 lashes for conduct unbecoming a black man. Richard Jefferson, I sentence you to 500 lashes for conduct unbecoming a black man. Stephen A. Smith, I sentence you to 4,000 lashes for conduct unbecoming a black man. Chris Broussard, Rob Parker, I sentence you both to 2,500 lashes for conduct unbecoming a black man. Michael Wilbon, you fat, bald-head, no-neck midget, I sentence you to 3,000 lashes for conduct unbecoming a black man. Snow Bunny Shannon Sharp, you're the biggest and strongest of everybody on the list, so I'm going to have to sentence you for 10,000 lashes for conduct unbecoming a black man and saying that no black woman can make you happy. 10,000 lashes for Snow Bunny Shannon Sharp. Who else we got on this list? Jason Williams, you're going to get 2,500 lashes for that bullshit you said about Kanye needing to go meet with members of the Untouchables. Bring back the whipping post, brothers and sisters. I'm dead serious. A community without consequences will never have law and order. A community without consequences will never have law and order. A community without consequences will never have law and order. A community without consequences will never have law and order. Candace Owens, Candace Owens, Candace Owens, I sentence you to 25,000 lashes. Candace Owens, I sentence you to 25,000 lashes for conduct unbecoming a Black woman. Come out.
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another live broadcast on the forecast. What's going on, my brother Nkige Ross? I'm glad you're here too, my brother. And I'm trying to give it a little bit more time because I want to say some, you know what I'm saying? And this is really why I'm coming on here, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, you'll catch it later, you know what I'm saying? Now, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got to draw the line in the sand. We got to pick a side. You know what I'm saying? The other side, the people that are against us, work harder than we do every single day. You know what I'm saying? They're out there working right now while we're on here doing nothing, really. You know what I'm saying? And it's always, the real ones, the good ones that kind of get lost or, you know what I'm saying, go down or whatever. And the fake ones and the ones that are against us, they're here to stay. You know what I'm saying? They're going to fight to the end. And I know we got to work 100 times harder, 1,000 times harder. And for me, you know what I'm saying? We don't have time to, like, you know what I'm saying, do anything but to get to the goal, you know what I'm saying? And if people want to go out there cooning, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? You could do whatever you want to do, but you affected me, you know what I'm saying? And your decisions, I can't even let it go down this way, you know what I'm saying? And there are two possible ways to do this, and I'm trying to do this, you know what I'm saying, the correct way. But I know for me, I will never stop. I will never give up, you know what I'm saying? And even if they take me out, you know what I'm saying, then I'll just give that energy to somebody else. And the thing is, I give people a lot of passes that I can't give no more because we got to go that much harder. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, yo, I maybe have less to sacrifice. Maybe I can do this, I can do that others can't because I can sacrifice. What's going on, Matilda? But, I can't even do that anymore. I can't give no more excuses. You know what I'm saying? Like, at this point, you know what I'm saying? For real, like, I'm like going like 100. I gotta work like 1,000 times harder. And for real, like, if it may not want to be around me for whatever may or may not come, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna be like a line. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause like all of the cooning stuff, all of that sellout stuff, we can't. I'm not letting us go out that way. You know what I'm saying? Like it or not. You know what I'm saying? Can't make the horse drink, but I can put your head under the water until you drown. You know what I'm saying? And it's up to us to take these steps to do the things that we got to do, and we can't bite our tongue. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I don't know, like, if people want to come on here, you know what I'm saying, but like, I can't let your, like, you know what I'm saying, because I think that y'all be saying, because I used to be like, yo, I'm not as hard on the coon, but that's not even true. You know what I'm saying? We are just so weak and decrepit that we can't do nothing to nobody, and that has to come to an end. You know what I'm saying? That really has to stop. That other people can control our destiny. We can't even take something as simple as a luxury and say, yo, I'm not going to do that. And that's with the young generation, because right now I'm at the point where, like, you know what I'm saying, people born right now is late, you know what I'm saying, at the rate that we're going, because we are so weak, you know what I'm saying. There is no, like, masculinity, no black manhood, you know what I'm saying. our relationships are destroyed, and we don't even have the mindset to go in the right path. You know what I'm saying? And all of this weakness definitely has to stop. Like, and it's crazy, you know what I'm saying? And just because, like, even if I got to do it by myself, it is what it is, you know what I'm saying? I can't let us go out on some, like, the way that we're doing things, you know what I'm saying? And it's so easy to control industry, so easy to control the things that you're supposed to control, you know what I'm saying? And I know that the things that I say may, some people may not, but you're really not going to want to be around me now, you know what I'm saying? Because I am saying everything that I feel like I need to say or do or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because we have to work that much harder if you really want freedom. And if not, then you're going to just go assimilate, you know what I'm saying? And shut up and just enjoy your everyday life with somebody else, you know what I'm saying? I know you thank God that you got technology and stuff like this, but like the weakness and the cooning, it has to stop, you know what I'm saying? It affects us. Like, look at it. You're the only group. Yo, what's up, bro? You're the only group that can't even defend yourself in this modern day and time. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we the resources, we the resource. You damn right you can't be racist because you too damn weak to be. And then you blame it on your moral. That's a bunch of BS. You know what I'm saying? You blame it on the divid. That's a bunch of BS. It's because it's, you're cowards. You know what I'm saying? We are cowards. So I can't even let the coon stuff keep going on because that's how attached that we are. Somebody else's dollar is enough to make us sell our dignity and our whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because somebody else holds the keys to being able to feed you, you know what I'm saying? You won't even sacrifice a little bit, a little something. You don't have to give up everything today, but you ain't willing to give up nothing at no time. Then you'll always be, you know what I'm saying, stuck in chains. And so you might as well just get used to it. You know what I'm saying? And figure out which language we gonna learn next. What up, Ketter? That's why I'm like, you have to, I mean, yo, we give the keys away every single day, and just to see how weak and whatever, oh, we too divided, we can't do this, we can't do that because they're gonna do no, none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? You could have been preparing and doing all of this stuff if you really wanted to. Yo, all of that time for passing the torch and all of that stuff is over with. You know what I'm saying? All of the things that's not about using something as a tool or a weapon to empower yourself is over with. You know what I'm saying? Including yourself. But we don't even have it in us to not do something or not support something because it's just too comfortable. You know what I'm saying? The integration thing was like killer. You know what I'm saying? It was a killer move. And that's why I'm like, it's really maybe one way. But the other way is just to, you know what I'm saying, be able to provide for the people. Because you see, you know what I'm saying, that people will sell you out because they don't want to go back to whatever it is to make sure they pay their bills, you know what I'm saying, so they can live comfortably in somebody else's society, knowing what could happen. And then you can't even protect your own children. You know what I'm saying? You can't even speak your own mind or have your own religion. And I know that we got to be tired of being broken, but we're not, because it's like the real ones is the ones that, you know what I'm saying, lose the energy and lose the steam. But your enemies, and that's no matter who they look like, you know what I'm saying, they're the ones that have the power to keep going to make sure you stay in your position. And it's crazy because we have to have more urgency than they do, but we don't. And it's like straight weakness and like cowardice. So, you know, even if I got to do it myself, you know what I'm saying, then it is what it is. But, you know what I'm saying, we can't be like living comfortably in this, you know what I'm saying? Because you never know what's going to happen to the next day. And that's why you need to tell the people around you, you know what I'm saying, everything that you got on your mind, you know what I'm saying, don't bite your tongue, you know what I'm saying, because you never know what's going to happen next. But it's just so many ways to like build. It's just that we don't want that, you know what I'm saying? We look for every excuse in the book, you know what I'm saying? But I can't keep letting that go on. So like the way I see it, you know what I'm saying, all of the weakness, you know what I'm saying, I'm definitely gotta call it out, you know what I'm saying? And we can't keep going with that way, you know. We can't survive. We can't keep going at this pace, you know what I'm saying? Either we're with it or we're not. We can't be on the fence, can't be halfway revolutionary, you know what I'm saying? If we are with it, we are with it. If we ain't, then we ain't. But if you are comfortable with the way things are, you know what I'm saying, then go do you, you know what I'm saying? But you can't bring that over here, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, like I'm like, yo, I'm not a hard on the coons, but that's not even true. Yo, salute my brother Rasheed Holmes. Cause I see and hear some weak stuff every single day, and then we turn around and wonder why we in the position that we in. Nah, divided nothing. It's just you're conquered and you don't want to be free. It's simple. We all really got the solutions. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm like, yo, we don't even have to reinvent the wheel. We all know of the things that we have to do, especially individually. It's just that weakness that come out of you. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I get, you know, if you know, people don't want to come on here because we're talking about like, yo, from now on, like I'm going back to what I was doing before, you know what I'm saying, the videos that I was doing. And you know, we going back to the message and we talking about creating things to make a change and actually being about it or not, you know what I'm saying? Because we can't just be on here just making them rich for no reason, right? Even being on here is making a shyster white white girl rich right now. We can't be using it for no reason. It got to be a tool that we use to empower ourselves, everything, because that's just the way that it is. You know what I'm saying? If you don't think that's the way it is, then why don't you control anything? Why you got to listen to what somebody else tell you what to do about everything? When it's simple solutions, but oh Lord, they're going to come in and hurt us. Or better yet, we don't trust each other. You know what I'm saying? That's why we can't build our communities. We don't even trust each other to communicate. You know what I'm saying? If we having a problem, is our egos. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to talk to each other. Somebody might have the answer, but we don't want to talk to each other, ask for each other for help. You know what I'm saying? Just be like real humans with each other. It's hard to build things when you don't trust each other. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's important just to talk, just like speak to each other. Say what's up. But no, we hold that distrust for ourselves when everybody else has shown a proven animosity and have taken action towards us, but we can only find that smoke for ourselves because we don't trust each other. We don't think that we can help each other. And you know what? If something happened, you just be like, oh man, they got him. Well, you know, you could be like, well, what are we going to do about it? But everybody knows that black people ain't going to do nothing. If they got you, they just got you. But see, it's hard to have that mentality when you actually like care about each other and you love each other and you talk about whatever is going on in your life or whatever, and you share that. But we can't communicate. When we do talk, we look for reasons to disagree. And I'm not saying that it's not a time and place for all of that stuff, but right now is not the time or the place. And if you can't do something as simple as communicate, it is very difficult for you to be on the same page to make sure one of you don't get exploited. Because we don't even see each other as in the same situation, even though, all of our kids are at risk, our grandparents, ourselves. Because, like I said, if you weren't, where is your institution? Myself, where I don't have a damn institution. But yo, we can just get past the communication point and realize, it ain't no different than it was 100 years ago. It's just the illusion of inclusion, which did so much damage to our mentality. That's why it's like it's a whole new problem. But it wasn't just that. Our homes was destroyed, the crack epidemic. We are still recovering from all of that. But until you have that communication with each other, you could be able to talk, you know what I'm saying? How are you going to be able to talk about building something when all you could talk about is disagreeing? You can't do two things at one time. You can switch your thoughts immediately, but you can only focus on one thing at a time. Yes. How to think, speak, believe, dress, total control, slavery only mutated. It never went away. That's why folks need folks like me to communicate against the grain. We are all we have. You know what I'm saying? It's not just me. We all got our part to do. That's what I'm saying. I'm on a suicide mission right now. You know what I'm saying? But so many of us is like, oh, well, how. And that's this thing that I've heard just off this little thing with Kyrie. You don't have to go on a suicide mission. Just not watch basketball. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever it is, or not play and use the money that you have. You know what I'm saying? You're not going on a suicide mission, but like people like, oh, we don't have a Martin, all of this because we're scared of what's going to happen. As if they're not doing it to Philando Castillo. He wasn't Malcolm X. They did it to him anyway. Tamir Rice was just a little kid. We could have been Malcolm X. We'll never know. But you know what? Like, even if the message, you know what I'm saying, like whatever, then the energy is just going to go to somebody else and they're going to keep it going. It's not me. It's bigger than me. And that's why, we all have our lanes to fill, but as long as like they can use pieces of paper with people on them that would have lynched us for even having this conversation, you know what I'm saying? Like money, right? On a larger scale in the NBA, how could you tell them not to play if you can't even not watch it? You know what I'm saying? Even with the young brothers, especially with the young brothers, right? But even on our jobs, because it is difficult when a job is treating you differently or wrong or doing something to you, because people like, oh, I do have a family to feed. And look, at some point, it's like, what are you willing to sacrifice? Because like at the end of the day, they're probably not gonna fire you all. But I used to be like, well, maybe I have less to lose than others. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got kids and all of this stuff, but I can't even give that excuse out no more because we'll be slaves forever. It's called perpetual slavery. You know what I'm saying? They said it. So I can't even give that excuse no more. I mean, I hate to put it this way, you know what I'm saying? It just depends on what you want. That's why if you cannot or will not be, and it does not mean throwing somebody in the damn volcano, but training them to be prepared for what's to come in this world, you know what I'm saying? So that they can protect themselves and to protect you. Because if you going out there, like I use Medgar Evers as an example, you know what I'm saying? He understood the mission, understood what would happen, and he and his wife, you know what I'm saying, trained their children because they knew they could get firebombed at any time, or he could get shot at his house at any time. And he was prepared, and he prepared his children for what was to come, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes, and we ain't even getting firebombed, and that's the crazy part. We're not even getting firebombed. And we are scared just because we are so tied into that money, because we're going to leave it out of we're going to put it in other people's communities and then goes to those communities to try to beg or work or slave to get that money back. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, so many of the real never make it to the end. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why it takes like all of us, and doing your own little part. We can't like have breakdowns or whatever, you know what I'm saying? We don't have that luxury at that point, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why, I'll go even harder and do all the things that I know that I need to do. Yo, it's really that simple, you know what I'm saying? And nobody is saying you have to change your way of life because I know we're not even on that level yet, you know what I'm saying? Which is crazy. But I mean, using simple thing, the Montgomery bus boycott was extremely successful, except they didn't have the plan to create their own system out of saving that money. They just wanted to not get, you know what I'm saying, quote unquote equal treatment or whatever. But that was so successful that those companies came crawling back to them. Now, if they had their energy directed towards, okay, well, we're saving all this money or we're putting this money towards this and just make our own black bus line, you know what I'm saying, which many places did probably. That'll be a whole different thing. But in this day and age, you know what I'm saying, we are so integrated that, you know what I'm saying, it's hard for even our young brothers out there, you know what I'm saying, who, because I was listening to these young brothers, you know what I'm saying, and they was like, down for the community and all of this, and talking about what we had to do. And then the brother came on, well, if y'all that mad, why don't y'all cancel y'all NBA packages? And everybody got quiet. And that's the thing, you're supporting that you're going to get buck broken, and they know that. They know that. That's why they're not going to go at Amazon, who they're working on $1 billion contract with. But you're the product, you know what I'm saying? But you're the slave too. So you can't say nothing. You better shut up. We all just slaves, you know what I'm saying? They make according to, they just make more money than we make, you know what I'm saying? But they have way more obligations, you know what I'm saying? But we all are. And that's the point, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, the industries that we don't control, like, and the people that we cannot help, you know what I'm saying? If somebody get unjustly, you know what I'm saying, put in prison, you know what I'm saying? You got two options. You can go appeal all day to their court and nobody want to talk about the other option. But you know what I'm saying, that's how it works. They're negotiating with you, the product. You know what I'm saying? That's why you can't be racist, because you don't even know that you are the damn product. You're the slave, you know what I'm saying? That thing that they're negotiating with. Because yeah, they can have a all white NBA, you know what I'm saying? You can have, you'll have Luca and who else, you know what I'm saying? Whoever else out there, you know what I'm saying? And Gordon Hayward or something. You can have that. But no, they know that you as the product, as the slave, is going to be, they understand the next move that you're gonna make. Nothing. I'm gonna go out, buy some more Nike, watch the NBA. I'm not gonna miss a game, but I'm gonna be mad at these players for doing what they had to do. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, it takes all of us, because they actually have the resources to start their league if they want, but those endorsements and that whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's crazy because they wouldn't take 50 million for 1 million. You know what I'm saying? What up, Coco? And that's the thing, Raw. We're not learning our lesson, and it's happening too many times. And that's what I'm saying. I can't pass it down to another generation. You know what I'm saying? You know how Tupac, like, yeah, maybe my words inspire the next generation. No, like, well, we're the generation that gotta get inspired at some point to get it back on the mission. You know what I'm saying? Because right now, the black children born today have no hope. You know what I'm saying? Because in America, especially, you know what I'm saying? But listen, as the product of whatever, you know what I'm saying? They know you aren't even going to negotiate for your freedom to believe and what you want to believe, your freedom of speech or freedom of religion. You know what I'm saying? Because you could be Muslim or whatever, you see, you get kicked out the league. You know what I'm saying? Surprised they don't kick the Christians out. But I mean, they're going to do this to show you, to break you down and make sure none of you speak out. And then you see other ones, people like us, you know what I'm saying? But look, let me Look, I'm gonna put the link in, but like I said, man, I'm not sure if nobody want to come on because I can't let like coon stuff go on no more, and it's just too much. I said I wasn't as hard on the coon, but that wasn't true. Y'all are super easy on the coons, and a lot of us say a lot of coon stuff too. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm saying that, you can get it out my system too, because at this point, you know what I'm saying, you better get control of your food, you know what I'm saying? Because you go to the grocery store, you're gonna start seeing, especially if you're in black areas, that what I'm saying, the prices is ridiculous for terrible food, you know what I'm saying? And we already have the issues in our community with the diabetes and the health problems and all of this stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because you ain't in control of your food. That bag too sweet for them to sacrifice such a divided, yeah. And that's the thing, and that has us by the hooks, you know what I'm saying? Just those pieces of paper with people on them that would have killed us. And it's crazy because it's people that's making $20 an hour that wouldn't do it on their job if the same thing happened. You know what I'm saying? But I've seen brothers who will. But the irony is it takes both sides, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, and that's exactly what they're doing is, they're trying to break them, and then we are just standing by as like helpless witnesses, and it's been like hundreds of years. This is crazy. Like at some point, when does it stop? Like just little comforts, like what I'm saying, like yo, you can pick a certain store to just not go to, you know what I'm saying? But it goes back to like the communication. We don't have communication with each other, you know what I'm saying? We don't talk about our problems, what's going on. We don't ask for help in the things that we're doing. Little do we know we probably doing a lot of the same things, and we could put our resources together to help each other out. But of course, black people are our own worst enemies, right? You know what I'm saying? Yo, that's what I'm saying. We got to get that mentality out of our head, you know what I'm saying? And stop teaching that to your kids, Stop teaching self-hatred. And a lot of people experience it, but so let me show this, you know what I'm saying? Because, I could keep going on, but I'm not going to keep going on. So I just want to show some stuff here, you know what I'm saying? Because there are opportunities, you know what I'm saying, that we need to take advantage of, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. You don't actually have to be like, yo, out there doing everything at one time, you know what I'm saying, where they keeping the eye on you or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, apply for something and then use it to help your own communities, you know what I'm saying? And there are different grants that you can use, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get better with showing the grant stuff, but I gotta keep that going. But there are a lot of grants. I got to get the right website to show y'all the right ones. But these are some of the there are businesses for small businesses, startups, you know what I'm saying, home business assistants, women-owned business. Just look up a lot of these things that you can that's out there, you know what I'm saying, that can help you personally, and things that you can use to help your community, you know what I'm saying, and quote unquote minority owned business funding. Now we get it, you know what I'm saying, and but it can't hurt just to put it out there, you know what I'm saying. And things for home repair, you know what I'm saying, childcare, there are a lot of free money programs that people can apply to, and try to apply, like I said, I'll get better with showing this kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying. But I definitely wanted to show that. So yeah, man, we got to start using other things to help us, you know what I'm saying. They take our stuff, you know what I'm saying. And if there's an opportunity out there that can help you accomplish a goal, especially in your community, then you have to use it. Everything is a tool or a weapon. Now, I get how they use it in the minority thing, but you can, you know what I'm saying, play the game or whatever, But as long as you're doing it with the right mindset, you know what I'm saying? Because we have to use everything available to us, just like they use all of our resources to fund our own oppression. We got to use everything available to us to do the things that we got to do. You know what I'm saying? That's why I just don't stop with, you know what I'm saying, on what we use our money. You know what I'm saying? We got to be smart about all of it. You know what I'm saying? Learn how to do business, you know, teach your kids, learn how to do business yourself and teach it to your kids at a young age. You know what I'm saying? Do different things to change generational curses. Just try something different, you know what I'm saying? And see what'll work, you know. But you have to do something to change generational curses, you know what I'm saying? All right, yeah, and also, you know, non-profit, you know, like me and a friend was about to try to do this, you know what I'm saying? Well, like, um, and this will help me to be able to help just more than one person with the water thing. Now, there's a lot of steps, you know what I'm saying? And there are different steps that you got to do, you know, when you start a nonprofit, and it could be for different things. And there are different advantages for doing this, you know, but there are also different rules depending on the state and with the IRS, you know what I'm saying? But also using these resources to your advantage, you know what I'm saying? So of course, whatever you want to do it on, like the issue, like for me with the water issue, you know what I'm saying? Now, having a professional looking nonprofit, and this is where on the thing you put urban, you know, all the racist stuff they say against us, you know what I'm saying? This is where you use it against us. We'd be like urban or inner cities or, you know, underprivileged or whatever. And you approach these companies like, you know, I'm trying to do something. So these companies not only would be able to write it off, you know what I'm saying? That can maybe help me get 50 septic tanks or something, but they can also quote unquote promote it. Now we know the truth, you know what I'm saying? They're writing it off and getting that money back, but they would promote it as, you know what I'm saying, like pretty much, oh, we're helping, you know, underprivileged communities, you know what I'm saying? And having these kind of organizations help you with that, help because like, you know, you can have access to a lot more money and then bring that back directly to your communities, you know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of things that go into it, you know what I'm saying? Especially with the state, you got to have like one of the tough things is like having a board of people in your whatever. So you can look around your area and see if there's Black organizations focused on Black things, because you know what? It was one of the nonprofits that helped the people down in Alabama was a Black nonprofit, you know what I'm saying? Now they can only do so much, but of course they use state money through their whatever. But this is how you use their system against them, you know what I'm saying? And you know, you can do so many other things to help your community in the meantime, you know what I'm saying? But you know, you got to have like a board and come up with all of these things and be like, you can make it have like, you know, a professional company directed especially at, you know what I'm saying, creating whatever. So let me play this video just for some other benefits to it.
Hey everyone, what's going on? This is attorney Audrey Chisholm with Chisholm Law Firm. We help establish individuals start nonprofits that impact the world. All right, so I've got another legal tip for you today. This is a question a lot of people ask me, which is what are the actual benefits of starting a 501c3 nonprofit? Why should you do it? What are some of the benefits? Okay, so some of the benefits have to do with funding. When you have a 501c3 nonprofit, you're able to apply for, you know, grant funding, you're able to accept donations, and people that give you donations are able to write those donations off on their taxes. So that's kind of like a huge benefit, you know, to help you get more money to support what you're doing. But maybe you're someone that's not really looking for funding from other people. So you're like, well, why should I set up a nonprofit or a 501c3 nonprofit specifically? Well, an advantage to you is that it allows people to feel more comfortable when you're operating. Okay, so this means that if you're, you know, say you're doing a toy drive in the community, etc., and you want some people to chip in, or, you know, some people are like, hey, I want to help, I want to buy some toys, I see what you're doing, Audrey, I want to help you make a difference.
Now you see when she was like, you know, some people chipping in to do that thing, and it could be a write-off. But you can also go to like toy companies, and I know a lot of us like to give out books, so you can go to Black book distributors, you know, bookstores or whatever, and you know, saying get books, and you know, they can write it off and stuff like that. And that way you'll be recycling even that in your own community, you know what I mean? And it's not just regular people doing this, it's everybody. And that way, you know, you will get that money back, because that's what a lot of these companies do, you know what I'm saying? They get all of that money back. But we can be doing that within our own selves as well. You know what I'm saying? Going to the black businesses and letting them donate what they can. You know what I mean? Like Cassandra business, Rome in the Bush. You know, like and how she could connect to so many different businesses and all of it and just put it together. You know what I mean?
It's a lot better for them to know that they're writing out a check to your foundation versus them having to write a check to you specifically. Okay, so that's another benefit there for starting up a 501c3. Another benefit is that, of course, it helps you with your taxes, etc. You know, you're able to, you know, write off some of those charitable donations. But more importantly, structuring it, even if you don't need the tax benefit, even if you don't want to apply for grants and all that, setting up a separate nonprofit when you are doing charitable activities actually helps you limit what's called your personal liability. So this means that in the event that you're doing some good in the community and someone slips and falls, or, you know, something happens, etc., you know, of course, there are some, you know, conditions to this. You can't just go out and, you know, punch someone and say, oh, wait, I have a nonprofit, you can't sue me. It doesn't work that way. But generally speaking, you're able to have some protections there.
So if you're having an event and somebody get hurt, you know what I'm saying, you're generally protected. And, y'all already know how it goes with, you know, the protection, but it's you using it to fund your own community and to solve your own problems, you know what I'm saying, a little bit at a time. Now, imagine if we had all of these nonprofits, you know what I'm saying, like they do, you know what I'm saying, the Cancer Society, and how rich they are, you know what I'm saying, by doing all the things that they do. But it's so many issues in our community, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, just like the Black Diabetes Society, and, you know, healthcare for Black people, and, you know what I'm saying, better food or whatever, you know what I'm saying, water programs. All of these things are things that will help our community and give us more access to them, and then, you know, use their system against them, you know what I'm saying. And better yet, you know, recycle those dollars within our own community as much as we can. And that way we'll be able to build more Black businesses through that.
With the law as it relates to being structured as a nonprofit. So listen, if you're thinking about starting a 501c3 nonprofit, don't wait at all. Pick up the phone on the number that's on your screen. Go ahead and give my firm a call. We're Chisholm Law Firm.
All right. And see, like, these are other things, like, you know, me and this person was talking about, you know, like, this was just one. We were just looking up things that Kroger offer, right? So, like, you could request a donation to where, you know, they'll give you canned foods, or they'll give you whatever it is. And like I said, you'll be like, oh, for underprivileged, whatever, and they give it to your organization. You take it back to your community, and you be able to feed the people. Or also, they have things like you can, if you're hosting an event, they'll, you know, give you such and such, or they'll give you like gift cards to pass out within your community. And that way you can help out these people that are hungry or whatever. And it'll be a lot easier to tell them to give up something, because you can't ask somebody to give up something if you're not going to replace it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's one of the things about telling somebody to walk off their job. Like, what are you going to replace, you know, this good old healthcare and this good. Now we're going to have to make sacrifices, but at the end of the day, like, we still have to eat, you know what I'm saying, and provide things for our community, because that's really the only way to be able to provide something. Now, people is going to have to sacrifice, because, you know what I'm saying, we already know they have gotten it from shysting. You know what I'm saying? You can learn the shyster ways, but Black people don't seem to want to do that. But the only other way is to be able to offer the people something, and they'll be more likely to follow you and listen to you. But if you're not offering the people or helping the people in no kind of way, you know what I'm saying, it'll be very difficult for them to follow you. And it's not just Kroger, you know what I'm saying, there's all different kind of companies to where you can get things for, you know what I'm saying, people in your community, you know what I'm saying, and use all of their companies, all of your companies to, you know, bring it back to your community. You know what I mean? And like one other thing that I wanted to show you, you know what I'm saying, because there are so many avenues that we can go, you know what I'm saying, because this is something that probably take me a real long time, and I'm not as versed in it, you know what I'm saying, but the need is just there, because, you know, I just see so many people like in Black areas, you know, not be able to control, like, you know, the internet, and, you know, they don't have access to like certain programs, like apps like Cash App, you know what I'm saying? Now it has to be a way to where you can control your own stations and your own whatever, you know what I'm saying? And create these apps, and not only, you know, that you know what I'm saying, exchanges the money or whatever, but that we can exchange money globally. You know what I'm saying? Now there's a reason why these countries are European based, you know what I'm saying? Because we aren't creating them. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the key things, you know what I'm saying, to create something like that, to where we can exchange money, you know what I'm saying, and where it is an even converter or whatever, but also be able to send money back and forth and just give each other access to different things, you know what I'm saying? And I know that's something hard. I know it's people that try to do it, you know what I'm saying, and they get blocked up. And I know that, you know what I'm saying, this is something that will take a long time, you know what I'm saying? But this is something I want you to know that exists, and we're not gonna play a lot of it, but so I'm gonna just play one of it. I should have picked the video before this, but yo, thank you, Nkige. All right, so let me show this. All right, so, you know, they also have like black blockchain summits and stuff like this. These kind of things do exist, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my brother for sending me this, my brother Brandon.
Inviting on it. Come join us, USA. We are inviting all.
Right. So y'all see, you know, a lot of these is long. I should have looked it up. But yeah, these things exist, you know what I'm saying? So there are people out here trying to create, trying to build things, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying, man. Like, we gotta have faith and we gotta have trust in each other. And I know that may be hard or whatever, but at some point we just gonna have to jump off the bridge and do that, you know what I'm saying? Because there's no other way. We're gonna have to talk to each other, let each other know what's going on, you know. We have to create for our own, you know what I'm saying? We have no other choice but to create our own systems, our own institutions, because we see all of these institutions are not for us, and we have no choice. So let me just show this then. All right. So I'm pretty sure y'all heard about this affirmative action thing, you know what I'm saying? And I'm kind of glad, you know what I'm saying, so that we have to build our own institutions. Now, there's a lot of things about affirmative action, but right now the Asians are mad because they like, you know, black people are dumb as hell and it's stopping them from getting into college because of affirmative action. But little did they know they would not be in those colleges without affirmative action. But I want to play a little bit of this.
On the chopping block, the Supreme Court is ready to rule on 2 cases challenging affirmative action. A group accusing Harvard and the University of North Carolina of discriminating against Asian American applicants by valuing Black and Hispanic students more. The schools argue their framework is necessary.
So your Asian friends, including those Filipinos, got a problem with affirmative action because they think it's for Negroes. Because we you know, we're the face of affirmative action
to create a diverse student body. Biden's U.S. Solicitor General went a step further, saying affirmative action is, quote, critical national security imperative. If woke universities care about fairness, it is interesting that almost half of white students are admitted into Harvard and are recruited athletes, legacy students, or a kid of donors or staff. So, Greg, I think it's be interesting to watch the left lose their minds when Clarence Thomas votes to get rid of affirmative action.
That's pretty funny. They said critical national
security imperative.
Security. So the reason why they say that is so when it goes away, it will be a threat to democracy.
Yes, it will.
Now, let me say this. I hope that they do get rid of affirmative action, because you know why? Guess who benefit? She wouldn't be right here if it wasn't for affirmative action. She wouldn't be right here if it wasn't for affirmative action. She wouldn't be right here if it wasn't for affirmative action. Because you know who benefited the most? White bitches. That's right. They may be one of the most opposed to it, but they benefited the most as this quote unquote minority, even though they're the biggest voter block and the biggest demographic. But this quote unquote minority, they benefited from it the most. So yeah, I hope it goes away and they lose their jobs.
This is now another thing. Look, when white students are disavowing white on their applications, like a third of them choose non-white when they tick the box, that tells you that it's better to be non-white. I think equality has been reached, at least in the academic setting. I think at some point, affirmative action was necessary, but like training wheels on a bike, sometimes it's got to go.
Yo, from what I understand in Kige, that you can have your own kind of thing that can't be shut down, but it may be expensive. I'm not sure. That's what I'm saying. I'm learning this from scratch. You know what I'm saying? It's going to take me a long time with this, but I'm pretty sure you can have something that can't be blocked. You know what I'm saying? Now it's just, is you willing to defend it or not? But I'm making it anyway, and I'm gonna make you defend it. So it is what it is.
But white privilege is a myth. If there's no white people who want to be white on their application, and the research about preference.
So,
affirmative action, but the cases at the Supreme Court are about Asian American students and Hispanic students and Black students. So it's really not about white privilege at all.
Well, it's part of the larger debate about affirmative action, and it always will be. But colleges are trying to create a community of learners, not a community of the best test takers, right? And affirmative action goes so much further than talking about race. No one is, discussing the fact that if you're someone who grew up in a Utah or a Wyoming, that you're more likely to get accepted to a top university than people coming out of New York or California, because there are so many of them. And no one arguing on behalf of these Asian students in the Harvard or UNC case are saying that the Black kids were not qualified. They're just talking about these test scores. And if
she said they are not, now they are arguing that Black people aren't qualified and they should have their spots, you know what I'm saying? But she tried to dress it up right there.
You are judged only by your test scores. You're going to end up with a lot of bots, essentially, right? And we know that taking standardized tests is something that is not good for certain kids, right? Kids who have learning disabilities.
So first they in cookout, now they're taking your affirmative action.
For instance, can't perform as well. I think they're an important marker, and obviously they need to stay for things like going to medical school and things like that. I understand why the LSAT continues to be as important, to learn something new, to learn about different people.
If you're interesting or not.
That's what the attorney,
you
Dana.
look like you could have, you look different.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Dana, what they object to is the admissions who's bringing, this on behalf of their students, says that what they object to is the consideration of race and race by itself.
Yeah. Right. And so here's I want a couple of things. First of all, Clarence Thomas said, what does the word diversity mean? Because it really has become this catch-all term. His point was that it can mean whatever you want it to mean. And so that has to be taken into consideration. Carrie Severino,
it means not everybody in there is a white dude. That's what it means.
Lawyer who said that the university tried to suggest that the racial aspect of their admission standards had little impact on admissions, but that they need it in order to have diversity. I think that they just walked themselves into basically the situation where John Roberts, the Chief Justice, said, I'm not buying it. The other thing is, what's a national security imperative? It's the fact that we have K through 12 education that is so bad, and learning loss from COVID with horrible test scores. The key to making sure that more people have access to good colleges and listening to the wrong track.
Jesse, it's really interesting to watch the left react to minorities who don't believe in affirmative action.
I'm going to pass on this one.
What do you mean?
You're not allowed to pass.
Save time for the fact.
White bitches is the number one minority that don't believe in affirmative action.
On anything.
I'm confused by the story. Who's upset? Is it whites or Asians?
Asian Americans.
Just Asians are upset.
Well, they brought the case.
They brought the case, yes.
White people are also upset, but they're not.
But they're not.
White people are also upset.
But they're not in the cases.
Well, they have been historically, because there used to be a huge advantage, and now there's less of an advantage because Asian
Americans
are testing better than white.
Did you read your notes?
Asian Americans are saying they're not getting accepted because why?
Because their test scores are too high.
Their test scores are
What
too
were you
high.
thinking about during
And
this segment?
because they are basically told you're not likable enough. You're not. It's very discriminatory.
It says they don't interview well in the research.
Yeah, and they're not. They're not as well rounded. It's kind of racist, is what they're saying.
Yeah.
They're basically saying that Asians are robots.
So how
Are they saying they?
Yeah, so pretty much, because they're something about well-rounded, you know what I'm saying? Well, they are robots, you know what I'm saying? Now they don't score well, you know what I'm saying? But you see how they want to throw this stuff out for us. These are your friends. But with affirmative action, if that does go away, you may not be protected when it comes to getting a job, which I'm not, you know what I'm saying, gonna sit there and argue for it, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what I'm saying. We have no choice but to start communicating to build our own institutions and to hire each other and to build our own things. Because you know what? I'm not going, and it don't got nothing to do with hate. If I want to hire all Black people in my store, I know that my community needs the most help. You know what I'm saying? And pretty soon you're going to have, well, it's been 600 years, but we have no other choice but to do that. You know what I'm saying? That's why we're going to remain slaves, because we don't. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to do it, but you're going to still be a slave if you don't. We are still going to be slaves. And that's what I'm saying. But I'm trying to go the best way, you know what I'm saying? The right way, the quote unquote right way, above all the BS, you know what I'm saying? But if we don't do the things that we got to do, if we can't even stand on our own square, if we can't see a brother getting buck broken and not even control our dollars in that direction, right? You can't even not watch it on TV, just watch something else, then you deserve to be a slave. And with inflation and everything going the way it is, who you think is going to get fired first? And who you think are going to get hired first? You already understand there's a difference in how people get paid. See, all of these things is going to leave you no choice. You know what I'm saying? Maybe this will take us back 60, 70 years, because we need to go back 60, 70 years, because we obviously lost something. And this integration activated some kind of coon chip in our head and is leading us straight to destruction or perpetual servitude. Not trusting each other, willing to sell each other out for pieces of paper with people on them that would have killed us. Sacrificing your dignity and your beliefs for that. Just like you go to work every day and don't ask nobody if they ADOS, if they Caribbean, if they anything. You just go to work and ask that person to pass whatever it is you're working with. And then get off in your own time to build and then argue with that person. But in the meantime, you done made somebody else millions of dollars, if not billions. And it's just simply, you know what I'm saying, just doing something just that simple, you know what I'm saying? So I hope that it does go away, you know what I'm saying? And let me show you this, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to make it seem like, Black people don't do anything. So I got to show some a little bit positive before I leave, So at least in the NBA, somebody came up to speak, and the brother Jaylen Brown, and the NBA Players Association, you know what I'm saying, said he's the vice president, and the president, CJ McCollum, you know what I'm saying, he cooned all the way out. But Jaylen Brown was like, he stood in his corner or whatever. And he said a lot of players feel that way, but just in private, they don't want to put their name on it because they just like Black men are so weak. This is not a good example of us around the world. And we wonder how our children keep getting exploited and women getting killed and people putting knees on our neck because they see how weak that we are. And this got to stop. It's like straight weakness. Grown men who may be your warrior class is the biggest cowards out there. That buck breaking stuff really worked, didn't it? How is the biggest, strongest ones the most coward? And especially with them pieces of paper that's not even backed by anything. You know what I'm saying? So you're going to give them the resources and take the pieces of paper. It's crazy. But let me play this. All right.
Jaylen Brown recently went to Kyrie Irving's defense, believing that the embattled point guard is not anti-Semitic despite his recent actions. Kyrie is serving an indefinite suspension that will run for at least 5 games and will only be lifted if he meets certain remedial measures from the Nets organization. Brown thinks Brooklyn's conditions seem like a lot, and other players share his belief. In fact, he said that he expects the NBA Players Association, of which he is the vice president, to appeal the penalty. I'm expecting the NBA PA to appeal the suspension from Brooklyn, Brown said. The terms for his return, they seem like a lot, and a lot of the players expressed discomfort with the term. It is unclear how the entire NBA PA
Right. So, a lot of players secretly said they have discomfort. And these are the millionaires that are the supreme athletes, which could be the supreme warrior class. And they got to secretly express discomfort and not being able to stand on their religious beliefs. But shouts out to Jaylen Brown, because at least he did it. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of brothers, I don't know what happened, man. But I will say for this brother here, I like what this brother, at least he came back. So I'm gonna play his.
Yes, and the amount points.
Every day of my life, I approach it with a state of empathy, right? Regardless of what color, what creed, what race you are, I look at people as human beings. I think that's important. But life is always about taking a stand and holding principles. So I want to explain what I feel like my stance is as a Black male in this world.
Black man.
And conversation.
Not black male, Black man in this world.
Conversations that I've had with my brothers and sisters in the Black community. And I want you guys to empathize with it and hear me on it. So when I hear what Kyrie Irving has to go through in order to be reinstated, I'm appalled. I'm appalled. And let me give you examples of how I feel like we don't have the same energy and hold other people who have dealt with racial tropes accountable. So when Sarah Silverman does blackface, or when Don Imus says nappy-headed hose, or when Howard Stern calls somebody the N-word in the skit, or when Brett Favre takes money from the state of Mississippi.
And then one of y'all come up here and talk about something. Oh, well, we say N-word too. What about, see, that's what I'm saying. Dude getting buck broken, and y'all ain't got the power to do that. I can tell you that much. But you know why? Because you don't got the power to stand up against it. Till you got the power to stand up against it, you ain't got the power to stop it or do it to your own. Well, I'm sorry. That was something else. My bad.
Takes money from the state of Mississippi. We don't ask them to get sensitivity training. We don't ask them to donate $500,000. We don't ask them to meet with the Black National Caucus. They apologize. And then, you know what? The rest of the world moves on. But what I feel like is happening here, and that's how in the Black community, like we've been told that's how the process works, right? Think about that, Bert. That's how the process works. Oh, somebody does a blackface. Oh, it was a misunderstanding. We got it. Okay. Is that person really racist? Probably not. Was it ignorant? Probably so. Okay.
Now, first of all, you've been told that's how the process works. No, you create the damn process. You know what I'm saying? You hold that person accountable, but you can't, because you can't even forego something very simple like vanilla ice cream. You can't stop eating vanilla ice cream for a week, you know what I'm saying, to punish somebody who said the N-word. You know what I'm saying? That's how sick it is. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, we understand it. We move forward. We don't like it. We would love to hold them accountable. But society, and having a lot of Black people in positions of power, we don't have the governability to do that. But what we feel like happens with Kyrie is even after an apology, it's not enough. We feel like.
And that's where I'm saying, because I know Bakari like, oh, you can't say you can't be racist. Well, if you listen to him, he just told you. you know what I'm saying, he can't be racist because she just said, oh, we can't hold, because you know what? That good old check is going to stop coming. So I best to go out here and play. No, sir, I don't know nothing about what Kyrie's talking about. I loves Jews, you know what I'm saying? I plays basketball with the Jews because that good old check is going to stop you from being that racist, you know what I'm saying? See, they're going to be the most anti-Semitic. And you see with Kyrie, right? He tried to give him that money. They said, no, we don't want that money. But they say, no, we want the money because they're shysters. See, that's what I'm saying. They're not going to turn down the money. That's how you know a shyster when you see one, right? They try to act like they turn down the money, like they so principled or whatever. But it ain't got nothing to do with that. It's just that, slave, you gonna get on your knees, nigga, because you know what? Y'all gonna have to stop them from saying that. But get on your knees, nigga, and say you sorry while giving me this money. And y'all gonna be mad at him for doing it while you sitting back doing the same thing you've been doing, cooning it out yourself. You know what I'm saying? You asking for him to sacrifice something, and you ain't gonna even help him because it's gonna be something. Oh, well, he said the earth was flat, so I can't help that brother. Well, you know, he did cross the street one time. I can't help that brother right there. Oh, he looked left one time, so I can't help that brother right there. Can't help that sister. You know, we find different reasons why we can't help them, and then look at them like, oh, you should have did this, even though I wasn't going to help you when you did that and face the consequences. Because we all got to face the consequences. Is a thing that works together. You know what I'm saying? When they stop playing basketball and create their own league, it's up to us to stop watching that and go watch their league. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, they might as well go back and do what they were doing.
With Kyrie is even after an apology, it's not enough. We feel like there needs to be more. And a lot of people I've spoken to over the last couple of days talk about this thing. Older mentors of mine talk about buck breaking. So we talk about tropes. This is something that we feel like in the Black community that happened way back in the day, where if there was a slave that was defiant, right, he got broken in front of everybody in order to show that he was not in a position of power. And that at the end of the day, he had to do what he was told to do because that's what was mandated of him. And there's a bigger situation going on. What's happening with Kyrie Irving? If the Nets don't want him to be there, just say you don't want him to be there. But we should hold everybody accountable, even owners of teams accountable with things that are happening in other countries, i.e. China and Uyghurs and the Muslim genocide that is occurring, that we hear Enes Kanter talk about. But we don't.
You know, you got to throw them in there, even though they over here are voting against you in affirmative action because of you. You know, hey, look, I'm not affirmative action. It is what it is. But you see, they're over here practicing on some anti-Blackness while we're over here like, yo, let's speak up for China. What the? It's psychotic. We even got to appeal to everybody else to stand up for one of our. We don't have to do that. We don't. They don't love us. They don't like us. They are anti-us. The anti-Blackness is global, including with us, right? But once we squash the anti-Blackness, then we looking at everybody else like, yo, you come in here with that anti-Blackness if you want to. And they ain't apologizing. I ain't saying, what about Ukraine? I ain't saying, what about China? I ain't saying, you know, what about the shysters? I'm saying, come in here if you want to. See, that's where we're going. You ain't gonna be able to stop that. I don't care what, because see, right, y'all, what y'all doing is disrupting me, so I gotta disrupt y'all now. You know what I'm saying? Either way, we're going that way, one way or another. Right? So you can go over there and be the slave, you know what I'm saying? But you're going to have to make a decision. Is you going to be a slave or is you not? Because I can't give that pass about your family and what you got to sacrifice or nothing. Okay, if that's your reason for being a slave, then go be a slave for that reason. And continue to be that slave for perpetually.
Keep the same energy for everybody. We pick and choose what conversational points we want to make more polarizing.
Time to work. What up?
And I might lose my job. I might lose deal opportunities in the future for speaking out about even the platforms.
Now, wouldn't it be ironic? And this is what I be trying to tell y'all about, like the mulattoes and stuff like that, the whole conversation with this. Wouldn't that be ironic if I'm gonna go ahead and say it because, like I said, though, it is what it is. Wouldn't it be ironic if his white wife divorced him because he lost his job and his income for standing up for a black person? Right? Wouldn't it be ironic? But at least he did it. So shouts out to him.
We pick and choose what conversational points we want to make more polarizing. And I might lose my job. I might lose deal opportunities in the future for speaking out about even the platforms that continue to promote and profit a movie that is considered anti-Semitic to billions of people. They don't have to be accountable. Who is accountable? But we're going to put everything on the show.
You know why? Because he got that billions of dollars. But you could be held accountable if you knew that the product was worth more than that billion, because you ain't getting that billion without that product, but you was a damn slave and don't know the slave is the product. So you're going to ride out for that, you know what I'm saying, $1 million or $40 million while they get that $1 billion off this one contract, let alone all the other contracts.
Shoulders of Kyrie Irving, who, even though he said, I cannot be anti-Semitic because if I know where I came from, stating that he's one of the 4 lost tribes. He's saying that blacks and Jews come from the same entity, the same thing. But we don't want to understand nuance. We want to be triggered by words, and we like fire, and we like things that are, going viral on social media, and everybody has some kind of hot take, and we're calling people idiots, and we're calling people names because that's what we do. We just destroy each other. I ain't gonna destroy each other, man. I'm not gonna do that. Is Kyrie Irving anti-Semitic? Hell no. Could he have gone about it maybe a different way? That's what I would have advised him to do. But I'm not gonna let you guys sit out here and make this dude out to be like he is a villain, like he is a bad person. He is looking to explore his heritage. Now you can crucify me if you want. I don't give a damn anymore. It's time for people to start speaking out with nuance and speaking out on the principles they stand for.
Now he, you know what I'm saying, listen, I'm glad he said what he said, you know what I'm saying, but notice, right, like he can't say that while he's at ESPN. He got to go back to the crib to say that, but I'm glad he did, and he may not be on ESPN, we'll see, you know what I'm saying, but yeah, he was exploring his heritage, and he don't have to apologize for nothing as far as exploring his heritage. That's just pure shyster stuff, you know what I'm saying. Now the Holocaust not being real, I think it was because, you see, look, clearly we can see why somebody would want to put them in ovens. Clearly, you know what I'm saying? I mean, and why people kicked them out of their country. We can clearly see that. Oh, they controlled the check, so we can't say that. Oh Lord, like we walk around talking about the untouchables, bro. Like people who have made their fortune off of our destruction, and we're talking about the untouchables. And you talking about calling them out because he believes that that's his religion. You know what I'm saying? Because he believes in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Because if you believe in the Bible, then you would have to be one of these things. You know what I'm saying? If you really read it, you know what I'm saying? You would have to be, you know what I'm saying? And if you believe it, you would have to be, unless you're saying somebody else shoved it down your throat or something. Now, I'm not saying either one. But if you saying that, you know what I'm saying, he's anti-Semitic for whatever he's doing, you know what I'm saying? Now, brothers can't say that. And of course, the shysters is going to use that. But it's the fact that we got to get unapologetic because these shysters are unapologetic. Have they apologized one time for the shysting they done to us, for creating Wall Street off of our backs? You know what I'm saying? For, you know what I'm saying, the slave trade, you know what I'm saying, the West Indian Dutch Company. And I haven't heard one apology for the slave owners, you know what I'm saying? No, they try to bring up 2 white boys from 70 years ago And I don't know why they were there, and you don't know why they were there. Probably doing some shyster stuff, for real, for real. Let's be real. But let me get past him, you know what I'm saying? So at least he said something, even if he had to go home to do it, you know what I'm saying? At least he said something. He couldn't let that, you know what I'm saying, sit. And as brothers, we shouldn't, you know what I'm saying? Now, another brother here who I'm pretty sure a lot of people are surprised is Nick Cannon actually stood up and said something. He's trying to redeem himself for a couple years ago, you know what I'm saying, I guess. So let me play what Nick Cannon was saying.
I can wholeheartedly say I know Kyrie Irving is not anti-Semitic.
When given the chance to say, are you anti-Semitic or not, he didn't say, no, I'm not anti-Semitic. At the press conference, tell us about that movie, why he did. He said, stop dehumanizing.
And he actually did say, I'm not anti-Semitic, like the first time and the second time, because I played it. He was like, yeah, I don't hate anyone. You know, I'm not a person that goes against any culture. I grew up playing with everyone, you know what I'm saying? And he called his name, he named his son Elohim. You know what I'm saying? So he actually did. See, this is more shysting going on here. This is lying, you know what I'm saying? Because he actually did say, I don't hate anyone, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So this was a complete lie.
The chance to say, are you anti-Semitic or not, he didn't say, no, I'm not anti-Semitic. At the press conference, tell us about that movie, why he did. He said, stop dehumanizing me. And the movie is saying white Jews invented the Holocaust and 6 million Jews didn't get killed. Okay.
Well, you know, they do say Hitler has Jewish heritage, like he has Jewish a claim for Jewish heritage. So yeah, it probably was.
And 6 million Jews didn't get killed. Okay, I know that isn't right.
Right.
There's a gigantic historical record. Jewish people know when you dehumanize us this way, we know what's around the corner.
So in that same statement as those are the tropes that dehumanize Jewish people, the same buck breaking.
What's that? I don't really know what that means, to be perfectly honest.
I don't know what that means. It sounds like he need to go to a black rabbi or something, you know what I'm saying? Or the pro-black sphere, you know what I'm saying, to learn what buck breaking is, you know what I'm saying? Got send him to Tariq to teach him what buck breaking is. See, he could tell you all of this shyster stuff, but oh yeah, I don't know what buck breaking is. The inventors of buck break, oh yeah, I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, how about the West Indian Dutch company? How about the Wall Street? You know anything about those things? See, they don't know. See, this is clear shysting going on here. You know what I'm saying? So it sounds like he the one that need to go to a pro-black lecture or something.
Jewish people, the same buck breaking.
What's that? I don't really know what that means, to be perfectly honest.
The slave masters would bring the buck, the one that gets out of line. So all the other slaves would see lash after lash, showed them the power to set an example. This is what you must do to fall in line. So when we see the 6 things that Kyrie must do to get his job back. Here go ye.
All right. So he's trying to explain, and this is, you know what I'm saying, trying to explain to water why it shouldn't be wet. You know what I'm saying? It's too much precipitation. You know what I'm saying? It's floods and stuff. You know, we don't need no more rain. So please don't rain. It's not going to stop it. Water is going to do what water does. Shysters are going to be shysters. You know what I'm saying? Europeans are going to be Europeans. You know what I'm saying? This is the way that life is. And this is why this stuff has to stop, because you know what? Your children, like Shaq's children, they're not going to know that you're Shaq's kid. You know what I'm saying? When they pull him over. And if you don't blow that quote unquote richness that he has, because you ain't wealthy if you can't do what you want. If you got to sit there and not be able to speak your mind and call another brother an idiot who I thought that he liked, you ain't wealthy. You just rich, and somebody can take that richness away from you. Just like LeBron James ain't wealthy. He's just rich, and they can take that richness away from you at any given time. But you attach to somebody else, quote unquote, richness, but they will never give you wealth, because the real wealth is the actual resources. It's controlling that resources. That is the wealth that you have. The ability to protect yourself is another thing that gives you wealth, right? To be able to protect those resources. It's not the pieces of paper that they give us. That's not wealth. Right? Oh yeah, I don't know what buck breaking is. All I know now is all I got to do is offer them some pieces of paper while inflation is through the roof. And they're good. They never going to stand up for their beliefs. They're going to throw away all their dignity. Right? Even though it was about the shysters throwing other shysters in the oven, they was like, I knew we had your heart once you didn't stand up for your children. And if you ain't willing to stand up for your children because you don't want to risk some money that's not backed by anything, not controlling the resources or whatever, and unable to build a school because I know they not going to let me, what good is your quote unquote money? It's their money. You only giving it back to them. And I get it. We got our own quote unquote legacies or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. All right, so this is the last thing I'm going to show because Kyrie Irving was speaking out for us. So
enough, yo. Peace to each one of y'all. Sending my prayers up to the Creator, to our ancestors for healing. We all need it about now. You know, they call this the Lord's Day in certain religions, certain parts of our society. So I'm gonna pay my respect and my homage. But shoot, what do I have to tell y'all? Y'all making me forget the reality, right? And I'm gonna ask y'all from my soul to yours, please do not get distracted out here. Please do not fall victim to what the system is putting out there. It's a lot of misinformation. It's a lot of trauma going around. It's a whole lot happening in our world. And the system wants you to be depressed, wants you to be in a state of being that is low vibrational. All right. It's
and by the way, this is my message. Don't ever let them tell you that anger or any of that kind of stuff is low vibrational. It's just how you use it. You use that anger to fuel you to make a change. That anger, sadness, all that stuff is there to let you know that something is not right and something needs to change. And you use it to fuel you. That is not bad. They love to be like the angry black man, angry. You're supposed to be when you don't have no control of your own institutions and you see how your enemies treat you and how they buck breaking you or whatever. You're supposed to be mad. You know what I'm saying? So that's not a low vibration. You know what I'm saying? Don't let them tell you it is. You're just focusing it and using it in the right way instead of internally put it towards the outside to make a change. That's what it's there for. You know what I'm saying? To better yourself.
It's a change and it's a shift in what's going on in our world right now. And I'm letting you know, I'm not being arrogant or anything like that, but from 1981 to 1996, this millennial generation, I hope y'all know, we're here to shake some shit up. We're here to shake some stuff up. But in order to shake some stuff up, right? And the next generation, Gen Z, is going to come right after. So they're watching us, right? Then you got my kids' generation, which is very young. But I got on here to say this. Please do not get distracted out here emotionally, spiritually, because the system itself is, is dying. Is dying. Old ways of living, the old ways of doing things. It's not going to last for too much longer, y'all. I'm just saying. And I don't know anything, right? I don't know all the answers to what's going on, but I'm saying this to y'all specifically because it's important that those that understand that are aligned and what's going on around here, that y'all paying attention, because without us making a change right now and shifting our consciousness, our kids they're gonna fall victim to this system too. And the system I'm talking about it's a myriad of objective topics that we follow since we were kids, which is sex, love, relationships, religion, culture, class, finance, entertainment, media, social platforms at this point. Please do not fall victim to these things that are being manipulated and controlled. Please do not. Please do not. We have so many truth tellers out here that are doing the right things. you know, and I could point them out, but you have to have your own level of discernment once you're consciously awakened to what's really going on. And I could go on and on, but look, I have to speak in general topics because it gets too mixy. You know what I'm saying? But I hopped on here specifically to share something with y'all. My generation, the millennial generation, we got to be better. We got to be better. My millennial generation, we got to be better. We know too much of the truth. And sometimes that will put us in places where we're fearful or we have anxiety. And in order to make an impact out here that is generationally sound, where it lasts for not just one generation, but for 7 to 10 to 20 generations now, we have to break free mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy to do it, but we have people out here that are willing to extend a helping hand and do it, you know? And I went live on this main page.
Now, I'm going to stop right there. And see, I took it as this brother is always talking about, you know what I'm saying, black issues, you know what I'm saying? He's talking about, because that's what I'm telling you. I'm not passing it down to the next generation, you know what I'm saying? Now, I say this jokingly, but it's kind of true. I can't vouch for anybody born after 1995 or whatever, but you know what I'm saying? See, like, as looking at it from a black perspective, especially when he's talking about, you know, all of the aspects that they control, you know what I'm saying, like, which is all the aspects of society, you know what I'm saying, and us as millennials, especially in the age of information, you know what I'm saying, it's up to us to use these things that's available to us as a tool, you know what I'm saying. Now, other people who may not have a black-minded mindset, you know what I'm saying, who may or may not be mulatto or whatever, you know what I'm saying, may see it as saying we got to love everybody, you know what I'm saying, but especially when you're talking about us doing the things that we got to do to be free, because see, people use this word free like loosely, you know what I'm saying. Freedom is actually responsibility, you know what I'm saying. Is you being responsible for disposing of your own feces, you know what I'm saying. Freedom is all the things that you have to do as a man to protect your community, to build your community, to make all of the comfortable things in your community. I know we like to give everybody else credit, but you know what? They had dirt roads like 50, 60, 70 years ago. You know what I'm saying? There was no cell phones to like 20, 30 years ago, right? All of these things. And how do you think they got the power and the resources and all of this stuff to do it if you was in your own atmosphere? Do you not think you would have the power and the creativity and the whatever to do it? And even right now, under duress, you know what I'm saying, we have created so many things and we can continue to create so many things. It's just a matter of protecting those creations, whether we selling them or somebody straight up taking them, because both is going on. But it's just the lack of faith that we have in each other, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, as millennials, and I'm talking about black only, you know what I'm saying, we have to learn how to communicate. Let us know when something is going on with you. You know what I'm saying? It's maybe something we can do to help. And I understand that the powerlessness that we used to in our community, but that stuff has to stop. You know what I'm saying? I get it. But we can definitely help each other, and we have to be able to communicate with each other, because we understand that everybody else in the world is against us. Maybe we don't understand that, but everybody else in the world is for themselves, whether they're against us or not. We are the only group that is for us and everybody. We cannot be together on the top of the mountain. There can only be one winner and one loser. We maybe think that everybody can control, but obviously that's not what has happened. You have to take back control of what is yours. Not ask for it back, but take it back, because that's the only way that you're going to get it. But the only way you can do that is with unity and understanding what values are, placing those values. Is your dignity worth a piece of paper with somebody who would have killed you on them? Or do we want to say or make something else our money system or a barter system or exchange with each other? But even if we're going to assimilate, let's use that as a tool against them to empower ourselves, because anything we do for ourselves is against them. And that's just the way it is. So that's why you're going to have to decide, which side are you on? Are you just going to assimilate, or are you down? Because there is no stopping, there is no giving up. You can't be scared that, oh, well, somebody always, so what? They do it anyway. See, it may be a suicide mission right now, but I'm hoping one day it'll be a martyr. And just because so many of the real, you know what I'm saying, don't go to the end, that means that I have to work 10 times harder, 100 times harder, and so do you. Because those who are against us is working right now, doing everything they can right now to maintain the situation that it is. And we have to work 10 times harder to get out of it. So if we're going to be using these platforms, let's use them to our advantage. There's no reason why we can't be connecting and having people run for a school board. Because you know what? Somebody like Steve Bannon said he funded 30-something thousand people across the nation to run for your local school boards, the schools that you send your children to. So if you ain't going to stand up to build your own schools and send them to your own schools, at least stand up and run your own districts. Do something other than the same thing we've been doing, other than the cowardice, other than the weak behavior that we've been doing. Now I'm about to close out. I'm gonna put the chain. I know nobody's gonna come in here no more, because like I said, man, people is gonna have to decide what they want. You know what I'm saying? I can't keep giving passes. There's no more passes, because there is or there is not. You know what I'm saying? You either win or you lose. And right now we are losing because we are weak. And it's on display for everybody to see. And we should be disgusted to the point that we say enough is enough. We got so many things to our advantage: the ability to communicate, the ability to spread knowledge, the ability to get resources more so than they did 100 years ago. But that mindset is so different that we are in a 100 times worse situation, where we are more cooned out with more information and more opportunities. That's how they was able to have grocery stores and hospitals and all these other things. You can't have no Marcus Garvey until you have a Black community. That's why people is like, oh, where is the leader? We so scared to give up even something as simple as money. But your life is already gone. They took everything. What else do you got to lose? What language did you originally speak? Where did you originally come from? All of these things is destroyed. And that's really no matter where you are on the planet. Because we allow other people to control and dominate us, you know what I'm saying? And we sit back and allow it. But if you're going to follow them, you know, why not follow me? Why not follow yourself? Why not look for a God that tell you it's okay to defend yourself? Because at the end of the day, that's what everything in the universe does. Everything it can to protect itself, except for one thing in the whole universe. The thing that forgives and hugs its enemy who kills his brother while he watching TV. Who forgives somebody who will walk in the grocery store and shoot us up, or walk in the church and shoot us up. Only one that forgive it and say, oh, I love everybody. We can all be at the top. We don't have to do. We didn't make it this way. We obviously see what that mindset gets us. You need to find something greater. And like I said, man, it's not about nobody's religion or none of that stuff. But if we got to put that at the door, then we got to put it at the door, or find something that it's enough. But you know what? Slavery wasn't enough. You know what I'm saying? Lynchings wasn't enough. You know, all of the things that's going on right now is not enough. Trayvon Martin was not enough. Something got to be enough. You know what I'm saying? You got to get to some point. You know what I'm saying? But listen, man, all the cooning stuff, all the weak stuff, it got to stop. You got to make a decision, man. Do you want to be a slave? Or I should just say, do you want to assimilate? Or do you want to be free and the responsibility that it comes with it? Right? Because you can't do all of this weak stuff and make all of these excuses and all of these things. And you may have to sacrifice. But it's crazy because I believe in Black people's ingenuity and creativity. And I know that once we have the courage to stand on it, then we will be where we need to be. But right now, children born in the hospital today probably don't have a chance. Think about that. Is that enough? But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, we are all we got, man. Communicate with each other, man. When you see somebody in the street, just speak, you know what I'm saying? Just say what's up. Hold the door for each other, brother, sister, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Just something basic, man. Start with the basics. Sacrificing doesn't have to start with throwing your kids into a volcano, you know what I'm saying? It can just start with you doing the basics, you know what I'm saying? And trying to de-Negrofy every single day. You can just now watch basketball and de-Negrofy because we don't got time for the cookouts and the sports and the games because you don't got no institutions. Once you do, then maybe you will have time, but until then, you don't. But as always, man, we have. Oh, hold on. Yeah, what's going on?
Greetings, my brother.
Yeah, what's going on, man? I don't know if you want to come on here, man.
Huh?
I'm saying, like, what's going on though? How you doing, bro? First of all,
good. I was just listening to what you were saying, and I agree. I have to say I definitely agree. Especially with the the less than desirable parts of our quote unquote culture. I think we need to start trying at that. I think people are realizing we need to kind of just stop the madness. I think just an awareness is going on, and I think action is probably not far behind with a certain segment of our people. I obviously I can't quantify that, but that's just how I feel. And you know me, I'm on the side of I kind of maybe criticize our people more than people like, or on the side of people think I'm like self-hating. So yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I was trying to say. Like, I don't know, because I can let people, because when you be like, yo, the lower of our society, what do you mean?
I didn't say lower of our society.
What you were saying?
Oh, just less than desirable, like parts of, of, like when I say parts, I mean like aspects of our quote unquote culture. That's what I mean. I'm not talking about any like groups of people or Black people.
Right. I get what you're saying, but what I'm trying to show you is that some people would say that you would fall into one of those groups though. Because like you was just saying, like people say you full of self-hate, and you know that most people like, yo, the coons is the big, like people will call. I'm not calling you a coon, but I'm saying you.
Yeah, well, you're actually 100% right, but there's really, let's just be honest, there's no real consensus on what a coon is. It's just really an epithet or shaming tactic that kind of Black people use against each other, but there's no really 100% agreed upon definition of coon. It's kind of like we kind of instinctually kind of like know it's somebody that's anti-Black, but like I said, you have Black people at different ends of the, I guess, political spectrum. They throw the accusation of coon at each other all day. So I think it kind of doesn't mean anything now.
No, well, I would say it does. Well, just the term coon or whatever, but yeah, it does signify somebody who has a level of self-hate to where they would just an example, you know what I'm saying, the stuff that Shaq was saying, or Charles Barkley was saying, do you think that was some coon stuff?
Oh fuck yeah, it was 1,000% it was. And this is like me not and I'm kind of warning black people to not like engage in the whole Kyrie Irving, because he probably should not have cape for that movie, because I'm sorry, that movie is full of falsehoods and there is parts of anti-Semitism in it. The part I'm upset about is that black man has a right to say whatever the hell he wants to say, no matter if it's stupid or genius, and black people would not defend him at all. And Kyrie Irving said some stupid shit over the years that I'm like, man, I knew you were stupid. But like I said, it's just people couldn't wait to muzzle and silence a black person or a black man in America, a prominent black man in America at that. So, and then it was other black people doing, like Charles Barkley and fucking Shaq. And I was really disappointed, like super disappointed. But yeah, that's coon shit. Like it was straight 1,000, like textbook coon shit.
Now, yeah, but the thing with Kyrie, and you said it though, like of course you should, because number one, I don't believe the earth is flat, but if I wanted to believe the earth is flat, I should be able to believe that. And if I wanted to believe that, especially if you believe in the Bible, then you would be thinking you're a Jew, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. Like use like the film is anti-Semitic. Like now, what was anti-Semitic?
Just the sources in the film were just badly sourced biblical material, to where the thing about it is like I'll just like one simple aspect that most Jews are really concerned about is the whole Jewish slave ship thing, where obviously everybody knows Jews were involved in the slave trade, whether it be financing, sending people over to the ports, bringing black people over. Everybody knows that. The argument is some people say that they ran the whole slave trade, which is not true. Everybody was engaged in the slave trade. Am I willing to say
hold on? So hold on. The part about them being heavily involved, because you know what they did though?
They were heavily involved, but we can't just sit here and say they were the number one. They were the number one slavers.
Time out. You know what the number one company was? The West India Dutch Company. You know who owned that was? It was Jews. You know who also financed other countries who on the low to get into the slave trade? It was them. So yeah, they also had a hand in that. I'm not saying they all competed, but to say that that part was, I thought you was gonna say the Holocaust part, because maybe you could have made an argument.
No.
But
I wasn't even going there.
Part stuff. How is that the truth? That part was true.
Oh no. What I'm saying is that the argument. I'm really speaking from where Jewish people are upset about the parts of the
upset
film.
About them being upset about that.
Oh no, hold on. Let me finish what I was gonna say. I'm not like me. I'm tired of them using their Holocaust and their negative things that have happened to them to silence me and shut me the hell up. That's where I kind of draw the line. You can believe and tell everybody that you didn't do this or that. That's fine, but just don't try to muzzle me. But anyway, thing is, or not my thing is, what they're pretty much mad. They're mad that people are just saying without Jewish people, slave trade would have probably like never happened or something like that. They're just mad that people are heaping most of the blame. No, not well. People are using that movie to fuel their speculation or their understanding that Jewish people were the main proprietors of the North Atlantic slave trade. That's
wait, time out. Because you're saying Jews are saying, so who was actually doing that? You know what I'm saying? But in number one, there are some.
Hold on, let me finish. You haven't really let me finish my thought.
Go ahead.
what I'm saying is, like, Jewish people are saying they are using parts of this film to fuel their knowledge and speculation that Jews were the number one proprietors of North Atlantic slave trade. They're trying to say they had a disproportionate amount of power or power over the slave trade. What I'm trying to say is that yes, they were involved, but I'm not thoroughly convinced that they were the number one whatever. It's just I want them to understand, or from my perspective, like, yes, we know you were involved. It is what it is, but it's not going to help us today canceling Kyrie Irving or Kyrie over you being salty because some people are like lying on the history of what really happened.
Now let me ask you this. Oh, go ahead. Finish if you ain't finished.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's pretty much it. It's just like we have to be careful not to allow people to shut us up over this, like, or we have to just accept. Okay, there are I've seen, from what I've seen, some of what the Jewish people saying are correct. People are overstating or in certain conspiratorial ways about how Jews have been involved in slave trade. I've seen, and I'm not saying, and not only black people are doing that, huh?
But it's true. Like, let me ask you this: do you think they came up with they was like the first insurers in the slave trade? Do you think that?
I'm pretty sure. Well, I mean, finance in general, they were heavily involved, and that's a huge part. Like getting capital to get these ships built and get people paid to go on these expeditions. That's a huge part.
So let me ask you this. Do you think they was a part of the Wall Street putting like slaves on credit? You know what I'm saying? Where you could buy slaves on credit? Do you think they were part of that?
Everybody was doing that too.
No, Jews, everybody was not. They was the first ones doing that. The Wall Street, Wall Street on all of that stuff?
Yeah. Wall Street was definitely, well, okay, Wall Street has been involved in so many other things, not just slavery, where it's just like, I mean, yes, they were involved, but I don't really understand.
No, did you hear what I said? They was the first ones to put, because you said they was upset about their role. People was talking about their role in slavery when they actually did all of these things.
No. They're upset about people saying they had a more outsized role in it. They're Jewish people are not upset. Jewish people are not upset that people are saying Jewish people were involved in the slave trade. They're just upset that people are taking the history and saying they were the biggest and most and all that. They're not mad that people are saying, oh, they were the first financiers or they did this or whatever. Jewish people are not mad about that. They're mad that people are like, oh, the Jews did a whole slave trade, blah, blah, blah. Like people just going straight conspiratorial and just attacking Jews and not attacking the other entities. Because you got to remember, it was a whole economy.
That's what I'm saying. Time out. But who is there? Show me which black person is doing that, because I'm not sure.
Come on, man. Come on. Ooh. All these Nation of Islam folks.
Well, yeah, they've been doing that since before.
Well, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like people like that. Come on, there's conspiratorial black folks out there.
Didn't you just say they was the main financiers I'm saying, like, if they were the main financiers, they were the first ones doing so many things. Like
but that's one part. That was one part of the North Atlantic slave trade. That, like, what I'm saying is, yes, they had a certain amount of influence, and it was a very important part. But to me, it's not. It really doesn't serve me to learn about the whole truth if I'm just focusing on their part when other people and entities were involved as well. And that's what I'm saying. It has to be more nuanced, not just. Oh, just because the Jews finance a certain part of it.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, just because Jews finance a certain part of it doesn't mean I need to hyper focus and just be like, and just try to make some connection between that and today. And it just, people get just wrapped. Like, we have present problems right now, not the thing that's killing like black men in the streets right now is not because Jews finance some fucking ships more than other people did for us to get over here hundreds of years ago.
Bro, that's first of all, you know what I'm saying? Most people say, most especially black people say white people, you know what I'm saying? They can't even tell unless they wear the costume. You can't even tell the difference for most black people, you know what I'm saying? Second,
Well, because
look,
okay,
no,
but like,
hold on.
go ahead.
Second, today, you know what I'm saying? Speaking today, that's what they're talking about because today most people say they control the media, which they do. They control the radio, the sports teams, all of these things, which they do, and they call that anti-Semitic, you know what I'm saying? And then on the film, most of they're talking about is black people becoming these things. And yeah, they were had a part in the slave trade. They had a problem with them talking about their part. Anytime you bring them up is a problem with their role in the slave trade. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, they are they have in charge of a lot of the banks. And I don't even know why you disagree with that, because that's a like right-wing point too. You know what I'm saying? I thought you would agree with that.
One thing I will say is that yes, like Jewish people have had and when I say Jewish people, certain Jewish people, and maybe in certain industries, like let's say the music industry, yes, they have definitely taken advantage of black people. Not that, I mean, when I say that in certain ways, like maybe individuals with certain contracts, not like every single Jewish executive is like some shyster or something. So I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is,
Go ahead, say it, shyster. Go ahead, say it.
if somebody puts that in the comments. So, but what I'm saying is that we have to realize that black people see Jewish people a certain way in America, and they understand Jewish people can kind of go between being white and being Jewish, which we can't do. Because there's a certain amount of white people that don't like Jewish people, and so we kind of have
no,
we take
bro, that's not true.
So Jews can't go between being white
yeah,
and
they
Jewish?
can, but you saying black people we just look at them
No,
as
we
being
don't.
white people.
Yeah,
Jewish
no,
is
no,
a damn religion, bro. Like they're a black,
no,
the black. I look
they,
at a
they
black
get to
Hebrew.
they get to claim race and religion. They get to do both.
Yeah,
We
to
can't.
white people, yeah, to their system, but we don't look at them as different from other white people as black people. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't separate them. Like we don't be like, yo, the Dramatics, the British, the Dutch, like you know what I'm saying? Like we'd be like today we'd be like America. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of
No,
shysters.
I'm just. I mean, maybe we can agree to disagree on that point. I'm just saying, there's black people know, and for a long time have seen Jewish people being able to, because you got to remember they were fucked with too. Jews didn't have it perfect all the time, and they were oppressed at certain times as well. So, and you got to remember, and also too, black people were the first kind of people that were cool with the Jewish people to allow them to like open up businesses and stuff back in the day, like when they, especially after like the Holocaust and certain points like that, we were the few people in America that wouldn't run them out of places and shit. So we were cool with them when other people weren't. And so anyway, like I said, we've seen them be able to do things that we're not able to do. And so we internalize that. And some black people are fucking pissed about that or whatever. There's hate towards Jewish people from black people. It's not.
Bro, do you know that black people have always talked about the things that Jewish people have done? Like there was people putting back in the day the Jewish college, like when if you read the black newspapers, they even talked about the Jewish community and how they, especially when they started using anti-Semitic, like even during the like after World War II, like they came back, like you saying, because they let them open stores in their community. That's like saying we are friends with the Arabs today because we let them open stores in our community, bro. Like,
well, I mean, no, we had a different relationship with Jews than Arabs. I mean, the Arabs are kind of newcomers on the block.
No. Bro, they have always exploited us, bro. That's what they do. They are shysters. They exploit you.
I mean, if you let them, yeah. I mean, we're goy. I mean, I get it. The thing about it is, like, okay, when we talk about like when they take advantage of us in certain industries, and like we'll talk about music because that's like one of the simple ones. Most of the Jewish folks will help facilitate black degeneracy, but they're not responsible for black degeneracy. We got Negroes that can't wait to show Mr. Greenblatt their newest lyrics about killing a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't have to, they just help facilitate it and get money off of that. So, and sometimes black people don't know the difference. They just want to blame like, oh, the Jews. But it's just like, they help facilitate it, but we're the ones that help put the content in there. So
well, that's the thing though, bro. Like, cause I don't know about rap these days. I haven't listened to it for a long time. You know,
it's trash.
Yeah, exactly. But that's because these companies is not listening to the hip hop artists that we used to have that wasn't just talking about killing and blah, blah, blah. They may mention it in their raps and stuff like, but they're not just going out, oh, I shoot somebody like N-word, this like they do today. You know, these companies filter them out. And even when we don't buy the records, when you're listening to the radio, who you think is controlling what comes on the radio that you're listening to 200 times a day, the same 6 songs, you know what I'm saying? And of course, there are going to be some sellout people, and it's not just music because they run obviously sports too, you know what I'm saying? And it's with the dollars that all of these black people is just willing to, you know, sell out for, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, look, like Jewish people respond to the market maybe better than other races of people, or they catch on maybe a little bit quicker, which is fine. You know, I admire it, to be honest. I don't think it's anything they need to be ashamed of or nefarious. That's, you know, that's a good thing. But if we don't consume, they will adjust their strategy to get money. So if there's a hunger in the black community for more positive music or uplifting, actual like genuine like black people talking about love, caring, you know, the good shit that we should be consuming, they will respond so quick to give us that so they can get money. They're trying to get money. That's what they're mostly concerned with, more than our destruction.
Yeah, I don't know. That may or may not be true.
If it happens, like the thing about it is, if there's something that they're providing to us that happens to help in our destruction, that is what it is to them. They're not gonna fucking shed a tear. But if there's something that they're providing that's actually helping us become stronger as a community and bringing more power to us, I don't think they would really be opposed to that either. Because especially if they're benefiting from it as well.
Well, that has kind of got going opposed to the whole history of like music. Anytime people talked about anything revolutionary, they kind of got like blackballed or whatever. But even then, you know what I'm saying, that's irrelevant whether they sacrifice or not, because I think they do make sure they control what the narrative is, what you see. Like they're not just gonna let anything out on TV or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Or whatever. But at the same time, that's irrelevant, because if we are cycling the dollars, they can go shite somewhere else. I don't care what happens to them, but it's we would be circling the money, and then we can listen to whatever, even if it's bang them up, shoot them, or if we want to listen to some you know, Lawrence Hill back in the day, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying. It's irrelevant what they do, you know what I'm saying. It's about controlling our things, you know. But that's what I'm saying. When we
don't want to control our
But listen though, what you're saying that, but listen to what I'm about to tell you, right? Because it's been like a couple of times there has been black distribution companies, and do you know what has happened? It was been Jewish people on them. The FBI has done things, and you can listen to Jay Prince, Irv Gotti, all of them who tried to come together to do a thing. But you know what? They would have had control over black dollars. You can't say black people have not tried to do something. That don't mean that we don't need to keep trying, but understand that there is going to be moves against you, and realize the moves that they have done against you so you can adjust. But don't act like there hasn't been things.
Hey, look,
that they have done.
And I can agree. I agree with you, but you got to remember, when there's a king on a hill, you know, if you go for the king, you best not miss. So Irv Gotti and all them brothers and stuff, they try to do something good for black folks, and I applaud them. I don't know all the details, but one thing I do know, when you try to go after a huge market share like they were trying to do, you know, I don't know. Like, the thing about it is, like, I don't know if it's actually because they want to shut down our race, or this because they want the power and prestige of that position of being able to, be the publishers and the, like what the distribution and all that. So I don't know. We don't really know.
But that's the
which
thing.
one it is.
That's kind of irrelevant, because you should want that power for yourself, whether it's shutting somebody else down or not. But that's the point. They have to. But listen though.
People didn't support them.
Like, no, they didn't even be able to get it off the ground for them to be able to support
Yeah,
it. You know what I'm saying?
and guess what? They would have probably been able to get some traction if they had support from Black people.
No,
And
I'm
that's-
saying no, that they actually like the FBI like shut them down type stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like, if
yeah,
you go listen to what they were
because
saying,
they found some legal loophole to
you
get
don't
them.
even know what happened. Like,
I know. Look, Irv Gotti.
they was like doing like planning like wires, illegal wires, tapping their stuff, like raiding their houses and stuff. They was doing wild kind of
Well,
stuff.
also too, I wouldn't be surprised if they were actually involved in illegal activity too. Irv Gotti was never a saint.
What?
So
See, that's what I'm saying, man.
no. I mean, so Black
So you
people
think
can't
at
be
the
criminals
time?
now?
So
Black
hold
people
on, you
can't do
tell
illegal shit?
so you telling me at the time where Irv Gotti was a successful person to where he could have had a black distribution deal, he was still out there selling drugs and doing crime?
I didn't say that.
So what are you
I
talking
would have
about?
to see. Listen.
Or you telling me for a black person, their whole history has to take into account, unlike everybody, unlike the shysters who has been doing the crimes in their whole contracts anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
They're
look,
going back on the
all
contract.
I'm
We don't
saying
got to
is
go back to
I
their
want to
history.
see the
That's fine.
facts of the situation. I
Well,
want to
go
see the
look it
facts
up.
of the situation.
All you
One
gotta
of the-
do is look it up. Just look up Jay
Okay,
Prince,
yeah. And
Irv
I'm
Gotti,
gonna
black distribution deal.
and I will definitely do that. But one thing I'm very cautious against doing is just throwing my lot in with people because they're black and just be like, oh, it was a plot against black people just because. And I'm just
No,
gonna
bro,
be
you
like,
don't even understand what I just told you. That's you're not listening because you said I don't know if it's just about black people or maintaining power. Why isn't your mindset on maintaining their power? It may be about disrupting black people so they can maintain the power, but you want the power to maintain your own distribution. That's the point. You don't want nobody else to stop you. So why are you saying, oh, we don't know what it is? We know that it's you not having power, and we know that that's the part that has to change. So I don't know what you're talking about when you say,
well, I mean,
oh,
I
well,
think we
other black
agree.
people
Maybe
do this,
maybe
do
we're
this.
talking past each other a little bit, but I agree.
No, I'm just not letting you off the hook with this coon stuff.
No, what are you talking about?
What you talking about? Well, because you talking about I don't
I
want
have
to work
a
with all
difference.
black
Maybe
people.
I have
Maybe
a
Irv Gotti a criminal. What are you talking about? Like,
because look, I'm just saying there could be more factors in it. Look, I don't know 100% that situation, so I'm just
so why
a
would you
thought
call that black
exercise.
brother why would the first thought in your head be to call that brother a criminal then? If you
I
don't know anything about the
never
situation.
called him a
Because
quote
you say, oh,
unquote
black
criminal.
people can't be criminals. Do
No,
you just say
what?
that?
Hold on. Can I get a word out? Listen.
That
Bro.
was the words you got out.
Okay. Can I speak, please? Okay. Look, what I was trying to say is I don't know all the circumstances of why they had wiretaps on them, whether they be illegal or not. I don't know all the circumstances. So I'm in my mind, he could have been illegally surveilled. That happens. The federal government does that all the time. But on the other hand, you could do something to get on somebody's radar and they could have committed a crime of some sort or gotten in trouble of some sort that got that put on them. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying from the get-go, oh, since they're black, they're doing criminal activity. That's not what I'm saying. That's just in my head. I'm like, okay, there could be a reason why they were being surveilled, legal or not. So that's all I'm getting at. I'm not trying to just say right off the back, oh, like they have to be, they're black, so of course they're committing crimes. Like, nah, man, come on.
No, but
So
that's the first thing that you said is they're criminals. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know why? Because they was not being investigated. Like, because you don't know anything. You should not say the first thing you like. Oh well, you don't know because they could have committed a crime or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's a possibility they did. That's not trying to say I'm anti-black. Like, black people can actually either make them, like, you got to remember, there's so many laws in the book in this damn country. You can turn around 5 times and be a felon and not even, know what law you broke. Okay,
yeah,
that's
trying to make money while black. You know what I'm saying? That was the law they broke. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, America has shown herself to not like that in certain instances, so I can't even laugh at what you're saying. So,
man,
so
that's all I'm saying, man. Like, and I will give you this, you know what I'm saying? They wasn't following them until, like, according to what's his name, Irv Gotti, the brother, no, not Irv Gotti, the brother who was with Jay-Z or whatever, Dame Dash. According to Dame Dash, you know what I'm saying, he was like they wasn't following him until, you know what I'm saying, Jay-Z kind of put them on to what was happening. You know what I'm saying?
Wouldn't be surprised that.
Yeah, see, now you can believe that part. You see, now you can believe that.
What?
Because I said it was another brother. If I would have said it was the white
well,
dude,
Jay-Z is a snake. Jay-Z is a snake, so I don't. He's one of the black people I don't trust.
Is a lot of black people you don't trust, but that's what I'm trying to tell you. And there's a lot of others that you would probably trust before black people. That's the problem.
No, I trust people who I deem worthy. So I'm sorry, like I'm over the whole just because it's black, it's good. That's not, like there's ways you can be pro-black, but not try to people will use their race.
But not pro-black. Go ahead and say
No.
People, ways to be pro-black,
use
but
your race against you. People listen, I'm not going to let black folks misbehaving or doing certain thing and just cover for them because they're black. I just can't do that, because you have to have a certain set of,
because they're black, bro. Who said that?
Hold on, people do that. Come on, there's a certain section of black folks that black can do no wrong. Those people exist. Am I right? Or am I talking BS?
No. Everybody like to say that, but everybody that I know always be like, oh, well, why we never hold you? No, listen to what I'm telling you. Why all I hear is black people. Why we don't hold ourselves accountable? Black people is the word. Black people do this. Oh, don't you know black people commit crime? That's what you said 10 minutes ago. That's what all black people say. You know what I'm saying? I don't hear nobody saying let black criminals out of jail. Crimes. I never heard nobody say let black people out of jail, bro. Who says let black criminals
okay,
out
listen,
of jail,
some of these quote unquote progressive activists will literally have evidence that there was a black man that they let out of jail that was abusing his girlfriend. He was one of those Antifa BLM dudes burning up shit or whatever, so he was a hero apparently. So anyway, they had a bail fund and they bailed his ass out.
Antifa dude?
No, he was BLM. He was definitely BLM.
Black dude?
Yeah, he was definitely BLM. And he was one of these folks that's like, if he got arrested by the cops and they're like, oh no, it's racism, systematic oppression. That's why they arrested. Like, no, this motherfucker was out committing crimes and smacking up his baby mama in the process. And then finally she got done with him slapping her up all the time. And he murdered her.
And they let him go.
Not now after he murdered her, but before, like he was in jail because he was not only committing crimes against his baby mama, but he was committing crimes out in the general public. And then he just said, fuck it, and just killed his baby mama.
And so he was in a riot and then he killed his baby mama.
No. He has a pattern of committing crimes. That's what I'm trying to say. He has a pattern of committing crimes, but there were black women, and I will put this on them, and this is this local area, not everywhere in the country or the world, but in this local area in Oregon that I live, there was a push by black women to get this low life out of jail. And what did he do? He killed a black woman. So
why was he in jail the first time? Because they was rioting and he smacked somebody.
Yeah, he was out. Okay, you know why he got put in jail before? Actually, the first time in jail, before even the riots and all that, he had a criminal history. He already had a criminal history before that. And then he went and started burning shit down. And during the riots, the whole time he was beating his baby mama, being an abusive person.
So was this on January 6th or what day was this?
You're funny, Forecast. Look,
I'm just trying to figure it out.
What I'm saying, the original thing was black women here made excuses for him, and what did he do? He killed a black woman. He actively harmed another black person,
bro. Okay, and so when you actively harm another black person, are you telling me that black people say we want to let this person out of jail, bro?
When
I break into a black person's house, I want this black person out of jail. You telling me black people say this? Because that's what I said.
Yes. There actually are black people like that will make excuses. Okay, how many of these single mother terrorists, these baby mama terrorists, raise these young boys to be freaking a drain on society,
I don't know. There's a lot of trailer
that
parks out
make
there in
excuses.
America. There's a lot
No,
of
no,
trailer
but I'm
parks,
just
but
talking.
I
I'm
don't know
talking
how
about.
many it is. There's a lot of
I'm
white trailer parks out there, so I don't know how many crazy.
No,
white
no, no, no. We're talking about black people. We're not. See, let's
Oh,
not deflect.
oh,
Let's
I bet
not
not.
deflect. We're talking about white people. I'm
Oh no,
talking about all people.
because you said no. I thought you was talking about white
Of
people because you
course, okay,
said terrible
okay. Look,
single
white
mothers.
people do it
So we can talk
too.
about
Okay,
black people. No,
disclaimer,
no,
disclaimer.
no, no,
White
no,
people do
no.
it too.
No, it wasn't because you said it wasn't white people do it too kind of thing. I thought you because you said toxic or whatever you said single mothers. So I just thought you were talking about white people. So, but we can talk about black people though. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, no, no. I mean, it's just single mothers in general. Like, yes, that's a bad look for any race. Let's just keep that 100. But anyway, there are these women that enable that behavior, coddle these boys, and make excuses for these boys. There is a certain segment of Black America that make excuses for Black people committing crimes, and especially
You talking
we
about
do it
moms
mostly
for
to
their
ourselves.
sons? You talking about like moms
Yeah,
for their
yeah, 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 stuff like that. That, but also there's that
Yeah.
mentality amongst a certain men and women, Black men and women, that will make excuses.
Bro, we're
for
talking
Black
about
people.
people who sit on people necks and then they get a GoFundMe raise, or you could walk into like, come on, man. We're talking about like Black people don't be like, yo, we talk about non-violent drug offenders, maybe, yeah, but nobody talking about let the violent Black people out. Nobody's saying that, except for maybe their moms. You know what I'm saying? But of course, their moms would say that. But that's the
Bit more than that. Bit more than that, but obviously not the vast majority of Black people. No,
right?
Of
No, we're
course
not
not.
saying that stuff. So that's why I don't know why.
No,
People
but
keep
there's
saying
no.
that.
But you're trying to. But you, my thing with you, you were trying to make it seem like no Black people.
But
do
their
that.
moms, okay, yeah, their
No,
moms.
it's more than just their moms.
Well,
It's
that's the
just
only
so.
example you gave. So
Well, you didn't like kind of like let me get it out fully. But what I'm saying is there is a segment of Black America that make excuses for Black crime. That's all I'm saying. And it's not the vast majority, but it's a vocal segment. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
as a vocal segment, because all I hear vocalizes, because I can go down the list. You can name everybody, like, you know, because y'all try to say like that, and I don't even say that, and y'all try to act like I'm the worst one around here. You know what I'm saying?
No, I just think you have a higher tolerance for maybe certain levels of buffoonery, but I don't know. That's just what I suspect. But obviously,
No, I
you're a
think you
stand-up
have.
brother. But I think
No.
you're a stand-up brother, though. You're intelligent, and you actually care about Black people. I do know that. So
Yeah, but the problem is like, because I don't, but I think that y'all have a high tolerance of buffoonery for everybody else. That's my problem. You know what I'm saying? Because
well, we can't.
I'll say the same thing about
you know
Black
what?
people that
You know
y'all do,
what?
but I say something about other people. Y'all don't, because you're gonna be
Hey,
like, oh well.
hey,
Black
forecast. I will actually entertain that that line of thought, because the reason why I possibly could entertain higher levels of buffoonery from other people is because we can afford it less than they can.
What you
We
can
get
afford people having buffoonery against you more than
no.
I'm talking
I'm
about
not saying
against them.
again. Not
I
saying
don't care what they
buffoonery.
do with each other. I don't care what they do with each other. I'm talking about what happens in our community. Like I'm saying, you own Black people, especially, or most Black people, only got smoke for other Black people. But George Zimmerman is walking around, but you're gonna go smack Tommy Sotomayor or whatever.
Oh yeah, I know.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm on 1,000%, dude. I'm with that. Like, yes, you are 100% correct. I agree that yes, I'm on that. Like, yes, exactly. Like, and from that to colorism to all that, where they get mad, call Tommy Sotomayor or Crispy and all that shit, but yeah. So.
But that's my point, though. I don't come on here. I haven't made one video saying, don't talk about Tariq, don't talk about this. But when I talk about other people doing stuff to us and how to stop it and the things they're doing to exploit it, then people will come on and say, oh, you're just trauma bonding or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't want to see, like, but if I sit here and show another Black person, then you'll be like, oh, yeah, you're right. Black people are so terrible. You know what I'm saying? You don't have.
It has to be. There has to be a balance. Forecast. There really has to just to be a balance.
You don't have no balance. You only got smoke for Black people. That's what I'm trying to tell you. There is no balance. Because if I put in Nasheed, I'm gonna see 1,000 videos. I put in Sean King, who took $30 million. I'm gonna see probably 2 videos in the last 2 years. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, there's still Black people protecting him. So he's a bad example because there's black folks that still will
It's
tell
black
you
people
till they die
protecting
and day that
Tariq.
he's a black man. There's
Well,
black people that literally will
Tariq
tell you
Nasheed
he's a
is the
black man.
black man.
Huh?
Tariq Nasheed is a black man, and there's black
Yeah,
people
yeah.
protecting him.
But Sean King isn't.
Huh?
But Sean King isn't.
He is not a black man, and I
But
know you
there's
know
black
that because
people
you don't
that
got no.
will.
Who?
Black people will say he is black. There's black men that literally say he's a black man. So
Well, his birth certificate says he's a white dude. You know what I'm saying?
I get it. You're right, but
And
you got to remember.
you can name okay the scammer who took in Buffalo who took all that money up in Buffalo and wasn't giving it to the family. And I ain't seen no videos about that either. And he's a straight white dude. He don't call himself black. Nobody calls him black.
Oh yeah, well at least he went to jail.
He didn't go to jail.
What?
He got the money. They got the money. He apparently supposedly gave it out to the family, but I don't think they was complaining about because they was like he kind of got over on him. But the fundraiser ended, from what I know.
That's pretty sad.
But I ain't seen no videos about it, so we wouldn't know about that because we will have the smoke for black people. And I don't come over there telling y'all not to do that. You know what I'm saying? But you come over here telling me not to have the smoke for nobody else. But
No. I'm not. I never said you can't have smoke for. I applaud you for having the courage to speak out because most people will not speak out against the little hats. They scared to death of Jewish people and gay. Like seriously, just black people are scared to death of Jewish people and gay people. Like we will not speak out against them for nothing. So I applaud you.
Well, you know what? J. Edgar Hoover was a faggot, and if they got a problem with me saying faggot over than what he did, then they got the problem, not me. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you. He was a horrible person.
All right. But that's all I'm saying is, you know what I'm saying? Y'all have the smoke for just like
when you say y'all,
just like when you think
who else
about
besides
YouTube,
me?
everybody. I'm putting all y'all on the list. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, y'all, can you give me a couple other names so I'm on the same page as you?
Well, you can name anybody. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say nobody's name right now. You know. No, because it's a black person.
Okay, come on. Who's got the coon talking points?
All of y'all. I mean,
who's all of y'all? Who's all of y'all? Who is that?
You would be one of them. You came on here. That's what I'm saying. You getting dealt with right now because you're on here.
That's because I like your content, and plus, I actually learn stuff. You know, like you help, like maybe like stuff you say. I listen to when like your other live streams where it kind of helps me keep in check to make sure I'm not, I check myself for being anti-black because like years ago when I was a kid, like you got to remember like black people at certain degrees obviously we're imbued with like anti-blackness and on certain levels, and I had to come to the realization I had some anti-black ideas and all that were put in me because of the dominant society, and I had to purge that stuff. So like but like I'm saying, you have your own unique perspective, and that's why I appreciate that. And I listen to your content instead of just saying, oh, he's just a trauma bonder and oh, he's an excuse maker and all that. Like, no, I might not agree with what you're saying, but I actually consider it because you usually have a more reasoned argument or than other folks that actually do day in and day out trauma bond and all that stuff. And I know I've accused you of that before, but I still at least trust you enough to bring good information to where I can consider it and not just say you're just saying crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a good amount of that where people just say crazy shit just to say it. So, I give you respect for that.
Yeah, most of them be those black Republicans that say crazy stuff just to say it. But nah, I appreciate that though. You know what I'm saying? But yo, that's the thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm gonna tell you something. And the thing that I'm noticing, and it go with the biracial, all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? A lot of this self-hatred stuff. It comes with a level of self-hate. Trauma that came when they was like, especially children, and it's usually somebody in their family that touched them with some crazy stuff, so now they hate all black people. You know what I'm saying? But look, I'm sorry that may have happened to you. I know that, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't even look at the environment that's around you that creates the people, and we look at the the things that get created, you know what I'm saying? We can agree that America created the nigga, you know what I'm saying? But we can blame the N-word, you know what I'm saying? But we can't blame the creator. And then while we keep going after the thing that gets created, the environment stays the same and you're not changing the environment. And so now another generation getting touched by whatever, and now they come up hating each other and then come up spreading this rhetoric, you know what I'm saying? But the self-hatred and all of this stuff, like even the little stuff that you keep saying, that's why I'm gonna start calling out with everybody. Like the first thing you came to was a criminal when I talked about the FBI. The FBI has been the biggest criminals out of anybody, you know what I'm saying? They keep getting caught up and sued and charged and all of this stuff for all the crimes that they did, but you look at us as the criminal. I'm not saying just you, but this is a mindset that we have when we look at each other. Like, yo, God forbid if a brother have dreads walking down the street with white tees, you know what I'm saying? You could be clutching your pearls, you know what I'm saying? But a white dude walking down the street who you should be, you know what I'm saying, worried about, you'll probably get off the sidewalk, but you know what I'm saying? But you know, like, that's
you're a funny nigga, man.
But yo, that's what I'm saying, man. You just gotta like that weakness gotta go, man. Like it's that mindset that is put into us. And look, like we all got a de-Negro-fy, you know what I'm saying? Me too. But as long as we looking at each other that way, you know what I'm saying, we ain't gonna be able to trust each other to make nothing happen, anything that you want to happen. We won't even trust each other if we thinking each other that way, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I know you're right. And like I said, I've purged anti-blackness out of me, and I had to, come to that realization that, it is a thing, because I used to be one of those Negroes that would be like, no, it's all our fault. It's all our fault. And it's like, no, it's not all our fault. We need to accept responsibility for what we do as a people collectively. But yes, we have been dealt a shittier hand than most other races of people. Like that's just without a shadow of a doubt. But at the end of the day, internalizing that idea isn't going to help us. Just because we had it maybe worse than other people have had it bad too. It's just what we do now and the present, and we need to improve ourselves and have strong Black families, like yada yada yada. And that's where the healing is. And we have to just do that. And unfortunately, I do see a lot of people that would rather go into a loop of trauma bonding, or just saying what A, B, or C happened to us and just keep doing that. Now there's Black people that are actually building, and Black people are talking about building. And I think that's what we need to focus on. It's better than, people just like consuming hours of NBA media and all that shit that unfortunately Black people do. So, once we get off less of that, like you said, to de-Negrify, the less hours you spend on that, and it takes like hour by hour, minute by minute off of that stuff, that's when Black people are going to become great as a collective. So, and that's what I'm getting involved in. That's why I come and listen to people like you, so you can be like, hey, that's coon talk. And instead of me being like, no, I'm, blah, blah, I can actually consider what you're saying and like heal, and talk to other brothers and all that. Because like too many times, like you've seen like Clubhouse, like the conversations they have on Clubhouse, right? About just all.
I don't go on there, but I've heard it before though.
It's just the worst stuff ever. Like half of it, you can't even understand what they're saying. So I would rather engage in conversations about Blackness on YouTube and other platforms, because I believe this actually does get us somewhere. It may not get us somewhere fast or whatever, but at least we're talking to each other about something that's actually important, instead of a fucking LeBron and The Weeknd or whoever the hell, and Drake and all those losers.
All right. So look, let me say this before I let you close out. You know what I'm saying? First of all, I have to say this. Who cares what they've been through? It's not my problem. You know what I'm saying? They could have went through worse or better. I don't even care. You know what I'm saying? I know what we went through. And I know for us, especially right now, we got to understand that since the 60s, or since we had our families, you know what I'm saying, we've had the welfare thing come out, you know what I'm saying? Then the feminism come out, and integration and all that mixed. And then we had the drug epidemic that hit our community, you know what I'm saying? And it's easy to talk from here. It's hindsight is 2020, you know what I'm saying? But it's easy to say, well, they shouldn't have went to the projects or whatever. But if you got a crying baby and no job, no money, no nothing, and they're offering you this is why they put you in these circumstances, you know what I'm saying? To give you the worst possible circumstances to choose from, you know what I'm saying? And then you go from that to the crack epidemic and then recovering from that to the day, you know what I'm saying? So to look at our environment and how it's affected in the single moms, quote unquote, and all the people that go to jail, especially when our communities, even though we pay taxes, we get poor books. I've been to public schools, so I already know how the schools are in my city, even though we pay just as much taxes as anybody else, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff is built to do that, you know what I'm saying? Shouts out to you, Erica. But we're going to take America off that and just call you First Rifleman, man. So, yeah, you can go ahead. We're going to start your denegrification process, you know what I'm saying?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, but go ahead and say all your words, my brother.
Huh?
I said, go ahead and say your final words, my brother.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. And like I said, like we need, and I think and I'll just leave on this one point. We need whether it be a platform or a cultural, racial, societal entity or something like that, that we as Black people can have differing opinions and just put them out, whether it be controversial, offensive, stupid, smart. We just can get it out there, and we're safe for doing that. We're not gonna have to tear people down. We can actually have a real forum where Black people can talk about whatever, and it can help us heal. So we need to work towards that. And that's all I'll say.
All right. And so look, I'm gonna let this be my final words, you know what I'm saying? And you're gonna be one of these people that is involved in this, you know what I'm saying? First Rifleman. I'm gonna just call you First Rifleman from now on. And shouts out to all of y'all. Dwayne said now post-COVID and the current state of affairs happening all over in so many ways. And that was another thing that I was going to talk about with the Kyrie Irving thing, but I didn't even bring it up, you know what I'm saying? What he did last year and how he stood on his ground, you know, and how that may have some effect, you know what I'm saying? Because we already know how all of this stuff works. But, you know, just for the last words, just for him, you know what I'm saying? And this is, you know, this is for my brother or anybody who come on here, because I'm not taking none of the coon stuff no more. All the weak stuff, it got to stop, you know what I'm saying? And anybody who come on here, you already know.
Let me say this. I am a firm supporter and advocate of bringing back the whipping post from slavery. Listen to me, brothers and sisters. Listen to me, brothers and sisters. This is King Kong consciousness. I believe we should bring back the whipping post from slavery. I need some of my brothers to go into the old museums and get the whipping posts out. That's right. Or we can make some new whipping posts. That's right. Charles Barkley, I sentence you to 5,000 lashes for conduct unbecoming a Black man. Shaquille O'Neal, I sentence you to 5,000 lashes for conduct unbecoming a Black man. Richard Jefferson, I sentence you to 500 lashes for conduct unbecoming a Black man. Stephen A. Smith, I sentence you to 4,000 lashes for conduct unbecoming a Black man. Chris Broussard, Rob Parker, I sentence you both to 2,500 lashes for conduct unbecoming a Black man. Michael Wilbon, you fat, bald-headed, no-neck midget, I sentence you to 3,000 lashes for conduct unbecoming a Black man. Snow Bunny Shannon Sharp, You're the biggest and strongest of everybody on the list. So I'm going to have to sentence you for 10,000 lashes for conduct unbecoming a black man and saying that no black woman can make you happy. 10,000 lashes for Snow Bunny Shannon Sharp. Who else we got on this list? Jason Williams. You're going to get...
No, hold on. Jay Williams stood up, so we're going to place him with First Rifleman. We're going to place Jay Williams with First Rifleman.
2,500 lashes for that bullshit you said about Kanye needing to go meet with members of the Untouchables. Bring back the whipping post, brothers and sisters. I'm dead serious. A community without consequences will never have law and order. A community without consequences will never have law and order. A community without consequences will never have law and order. A community without consequences will never have law and order. Candace Owens. I sentence you to 25,000 lashes. Candace Owens, I sentence you to 25,000 lashes for conduct unbecoming a black woman. Come
on. All right, yeah, I appreciate it. Yo, shouts out to you, Dwayne. Shouts out to you, Erica. I appreciate you. I got to hit you up, Erica. I'm going to hit you up tomorrow. Yo, Raw, you already know. I appreciate you. Bobby, and King Gay Ross, you know what I'm saying? Time to Work. Shouts out to you, my brother Matilda, Koku, Ketter, you know, everybody who came in. First Rifleman came in, you know what I'm saying? He was the first one. But that's what I'm saying. Y'all might not want to come over here because you're going to have to pick, you know what I'm saying? Do you want to be a slave forever or do you want to be free? You know what I'm saying? Because around here, you know what I'm saying, this ain't no slave stuff. And if you want to be a slave, that's fine. But you know what? I'm not going to let you sleep on that because you affected my life. But I'm giving you an option to do it the best way. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm trying to tell y'all. I'm giving y'all the best option here. So work with me. But as always, man, we have got to start standing for something or we're going to keep falling for anything.